Mic check. 1,
Test.
2, 3. Testing.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, no.
Todd Thomas.
He had like
Stadium.
He had like
Leesburg.
like I don't know, just like someone who wanted to come up there, or I guess I should. I don't know if he's this, but yeah. I'll tell you after this. But yeah, mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Mic check. Check.
Yeah, the girls are right there. I mean, if you want to.
I guess maybe maybe a little out of my.
I think 12 was generous, dude. Jeez, that's really bad.
Yeah, I
I'll have
know.
to report you.
Yeah, dang. Gonna hear the siren soon.
And Foji.
Wee-oo.
Oh, he's talking with someone. It was cool to see. I forgot that he had kids. I mean, I didn't forget, but it was cool to see him last night. The little Fojis.
Yeah, little Fogies.
Are they often there?
No, not really. They've been there a couple times, but that's the only times I've seen them.
Yeah, they're bad boys. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so move Blake and Tanner up. And how will I be there? Oh, actually, that'll be perfect. Yeah, so I've got it up fairly high up here. If you want to lower it,
I can hear you very well
on
Victor.
Thank you. If you want to lower it on OBS, that'd be good because I've got it pretty high up here. Okay.
No diggity.
Keep
Gonna
having it
back it up.
Yeah. Hey, you see the Braves last night? They looked terrible at the end.
I caught the end a little. Dude, I mean, I just don't watch it.
I know. I can't even watch it. My dad's like, you watching the game tonight? And I'm like, no.
Because I did see a little of the extras, man. I'm like, dude, what are they doing?
How do you not score with the
The
damn runner at second?
AZRA has, their team ERA
They're
has to be over 5.
They're
yeah.
terrible. And I don't know how we can't scratch a run across against their atrocious bullpen. They're ridiculous. Okay. No, I wasn't saying, like, I want you to turn it down, but it's probably already turned down there.
I turned it down.
Okay.
I turned down the switcher.
Okay, yeah, because I've got it. You see, I've got it up fairly high all across here. Just because if I don't have it high up here, I can't hear him and he can't hear me. Because I've got, you see, I've got our headset. Okay, yeah, because I've got our headset volume all the way up. So if I lower any of these knobs, then it's going to be really tough for us to hear each other.
Their offense needs to be studied. Their follow-ons are great.
The Braves, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Oh, God. Yeah.
Be sure to stop by the Lightning Team Shop, located next to the BT Cafe, featuring a wide variety of Lightning merchandise.
Oh, my God, this feels so much better. Yes. No. Come on. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
Check. Hear me good?
Yeah,
hear me
it's
good,
turned
Victor?
around, you see.
You hear me good, Victor?
Yeah, I can. Wow, it's very clear. Victor. All right, Thomas John. Thomas John. So is your middle name John? So they just combined it. Why did they want to call you Tommy Boy?
Well, my dad's name is Tom. Like, his name is Tom, but it's not John in the middle, so
But TJ's such like a younger name. Like, what happens when you grow up? You go by TJ?
maybe change it to Thomas this time.
Whoa, that's really weird. That would be really weird for
I
everyone.
can't go by Tom because my dad goes by Tom. It's like a New Yorker name. I don't really not like it.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that.
Maybe Thomas. Thomas is pretty,
Thomas.
universal.
Yeah,
Or
like
I'll
the
just go by TJ forever. I mean, but you're right, and I've definitely thought that. Like, it's a little kiddish,
No, it definitely is a little bit. It's all right.
The Tommy is like 1980s. Can't fucking go by Tom.
Right, yeah, no. Yeah. I don't think the audio is picking us up.
I froze. Let's check it again.
Wait, let me load it on here. 3 little birds. Oh, not yet. No, I'm still fixing it up. I will in a sec, though. Yoo-hoo. Cause every little thing Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. I can hear myself singing.
Pat Thomas Stadium in Leesburg. It is a long drive here for me. It took me about an hour 30 today, but whenever you get like towards Leesburg, it's really pretty
Yeah.
with like the lakes and stuff. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Last mic check 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Unfortunately, we're currently delayed right now. We'll have an official start time as soon as we can, but for now we are delayed for at least 45 minutes. Hello, folks. Barring any weather delays, any further weather delays, we're looking at an 8:05 first pitch. Once again, 8:05 first pitch. We'll be with you shortly for some pregame, and then once again, first pitch, 8:05, pending any weather delays. Hello and welcome into Leesburg Lightning Baseball alongside my partner TJ French, Vic Massley here at Pat Thomas Stadium, Buddy Lowe Field for a matchup between the Winter Park Diamond Dogs and the Leesburg Lightning. Lightning coming into this game 15-11 and a half game back of second place right behind the Orlando Snappers. The Winter Park Diamond Dogs 6-22 trying to make up ground and chase down the DeLand Suns who are sitting in fifth place currently. The Diamond Dogs at sixth place, won yesterday's game, a 5-0 shutout. The Diamond Dogs beat the Lightning, and it was no offense for Leesburg, and they struggled against a really good Diamond Dogs pitching staff consisting of both Nick Wilson, Nick Sikowski, and Matthew Dimitri, who pitched the last inning. We saw 3 defensive errors from the Lightning, also 3 groundouts from the three double play groundouts from the Lightning offense that really killed any chance at starting momentum in yesterday's game. And we said originally that it was an 8:05 start, but we have an 8 o'clock start, folks, so we're about 8 minutes away from first pitch. But TJ will go ahead and wrap up yesterday's game real quick, that 5-0 loss. By the way, the horn behind me is the all-clear horn, and we are all set for baseball here. But a 5-0 shutout for the Diamond Dogs, first shutout that the Lightning have been a part of, and we're on the wrong end of that. And we just saw the Diamond Dogs take advantage of the defensive errors and do a really good job on the defensive and pitching side.
Yeah, and certainly a few double plays for the Winter Park Diamond Dogs pitching staff aided in that 5-0 win. There was a pivotal moment, and I believe it was the 6th when Nick Sikowski came into the game, and the first pitch he threw was an inning-ending double play. But no, I talked to head coach Tim Newland, who's walking out now, and he simply put, he said it's now or never for the Diamond Dogs' playoff hopes. Obviously, they're still in or at the bottom of the Florida League standings, I should say. However, not totally out of it, but I'm certainly curious to see how their pitching staff will rebound in this one because, and especially throughout the season, there have been flashes, there have been moments of good pitching, maybe in one game, but the carryover effect. And with a really good offense like Leesburg, who I notice have kind of switched things up a little bit today, curious to see how they've come out firing on offense and especially how they do in the situations with, runners in scoring position or runners on base, because in last night's game, certainly we saw, I don't want to say they helped out Winter Park at all, but certainly, not doing themselves any favors by grounding into those double plays. But for Winter Park, it's going to be a pretty consistent name out on the hill starting for them. It's New Rocky, the junior out of Embry-Riddle. We saw him not too long ago. He was an all-star, pitched an inning in that all-star game, but did give up a run. But on the season, this is his 6th start, 8th total appearance. He's thrown 24 2/3 innings and is sporting a 3.64 ERA. However, he does not have any wins. His record is 0 for 2, so he is certainly hoping to change that today. And while we're at it, I'll go ahead and read off the Diamond Dogs lineup today. It's Roberto Odor leading things off. That's similar to yesterday, playing third, and Adonis Velez over at short hitting second. Batting third is Luis Rivero out in center field. Cleaning things up, Ben Barrow at first, followed by Tyler Boyson out in right. The man behind the plate is Joel Collado hitting sixth, and 7 through 10 is as followed. Alex Espiat extra hitting, Kylo Wynn out in right field, Pierce Gliding extra hitting as well, and Eric Entrican rounds out the lineup and playing second base. And then, as I noted, the starter is Newt Rocky.
Yeah, and on the hill for the Lightning, it's Brian Bertoft who makes his first start for the Lightning, and he has just been wonderful out of the bullpen. A great bullpen piece for Coach Billings to use so far this season. Bertoft, a 4.26 ERA. That's just because of a couple of rocky outings. He's 3-0, 7 appearances, 12 2/3 of an inning pitched, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, just 4 walks and 13 strikeouts. And he's not going to blow you away with his velocity in terms of fastball velocity, but he does a great job at missing barrels, inducing weak contact, and is honestly one of the bigger strikeout pitchers for this Lightning team. Now, no Jose Paniagua, but still, amongst other starters and amongst other pitchers on this team, Bertoft does a good job at mixing in the strikeouts with ground balls and fly balls. But we'll go ahead and give you his lineup and hopefully get him some more run support than yesterday's game. Eli Thurman leads things off, plays in left field, followed by Julian Irizarry playing in center. 3-hole batter Ryan Jenkins will play at second, followed by the cleanup batter Charlie Keller, who's the extra hitter. Cole Bolin will hit 5th and also be the extra hitter, followed by Marco Moises playing in right field and batting 6th. Batting 7th and playing at third base is Reed Snyder. James Strom will hit 8th and play at first base. Trey Kraft will bat 9th and be behind the plate catching Brian Bertoft. And rounding out the order, batting 10th, Ledger Pleasant will be the shortstop for tonight's ball game. Once again, for the Lightning, Thurman, Irizarry, Jenkins, Keller, Bolin, Moises, Snyder, Strom, Kraft, and Pleasant, all behind the starting pitcher, righty Brian Bertoft. His last appearance came back on July 5th, an inning and a third pitched, 1 hit given up, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. On June 27th, similar, an inning pitched, didn't give up a single hit, had a clean bill with just 1 strikeout, no runs, nothing. And he's only hit 2 batters this season and made that a note because the Lightning have struggled with hit batters. He just has 2 this year, and those were early on in his start. It's just the 2 blemishes. On June 14th, pitched 2 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 earned runs given up, and then his first outing on the 31st, second game of the season, pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up a hit and 3 earned runs. But besides that, he's thrown up a goose egg in all of his outings so far and gets awarded with his first start. And the Lightning in desperate need of more starters. And it's not because guys are leaving left and right, more so that they just haven't really found someone that can handle getting out of the first inning without allowing any damage. 31 first inning runs, TJ, and that's just, 33 first inning runs. That's just not going to get the job done. And putting that in comparison, the Lightning have given up 20 earned runs in the 5th inning, and that is the second most. So 13 more runs given up in the first inning compared to any other innings. And that is just a staggering number. But as the game goes on, the Lightning pitching does get better. But we're hoping to see more balanced games. And if the Lightning are going to give up runs, we'd rather it be towards the middle of the game and rather it not be crooked numbers, which the pitching staff has also struggled with tonight.
Yeah, and I knew, Vic, I wasn't mistaken when I said a little bit of a different, or some shape-shifting, I should say, out of head coach Rich Billings in this lineup. You see Ledger Pleasant over at short. I believe it was Ryan Jenkins over there yesterday. Jenkins is just flip-flop in the up-the-middle spot, and then Nick Wroblewski, of course, gets the day off as the catcher, so Trey Kraft will get a spot there as well. And then Irizarry is way up in the lineup as well. He was, I believe, down in the 7 or 8 spot yesterday, so he's batting second today. And yeah, when you get shut out, there tends to be a little bit of, difference in the lineup, per se, and I guess the defensive alignment follows. But, I don't obviously cover the Leesburg Lightning as much as you do. I can imagine that the defensive positioning isn't anything out of the ordinary, just guys kind of switching around per game.
Yeah, no, you got it exactly right. Ledger Pleasant moves over to short, but we've seen him play short plenty of times. Jenkins to second. We've also seen Jenkins play plenty of second base as well. But you're right. Irizarry, the past, I would say, 4 or 5 games has batted towards the bottom of the order, almost used as a second leadoff guy, but really just to get him seeing more fastballs. I think a lot of pitchers get to the bottom of the order. They might think that they're up against some quieter bats. Irizarry is not one of those quiet bats. So James Strom, who's been actually doing a lot better at the plate as of the recent past. In yesterday's game, James Strom was 1 for 2, but he drops to the 8 hole. We usually see him batting 3rd or 4th, and lately has batted towards the middle, so he's slowly moving down in the order, but he too can act as kind of a second leadoff man in that 8 hole for Coach Billings' squad. And Irizarry has been, before the past 4 or 5 games, has been a familiar face in the 2 hole batting after Eli Thurman. Irizarry was switching off with Thurman in terms of batting leadoff, but Thurman, more so as of late, has been batting leadoff for Coach Billings. Cole Bolin moves down to the 5 hole. Ryan Jenkins down to the 3 hole. We saw Jenkins batting second last couple games. Charlie Keller is about the same. Reed Snyder moving down a little bit. So Coach Billings just trying to play mix and match a little bit with James Strom. Strom, Snyder, both doing really well, and them getting moved down to the bottom of the order does not mean that they are not performing. It just means that Coach wants to get some other guys in the middle and at the top of the order just to switch things around a little bit. But Ledger Pleasant in the 10 hole has been a constant 10-hole batter for Coach Billings' team, and that is another instance where if he gets on, he's a speedy guy for Irizarry to potentially knock him around, and then you got Irizarry, Jenkins, and Keller to knock both of those guys in. So that's the goal, is to keep Ledger Pleasant in the bottom of the order, and I really like that from Coach Billings. Trey Kraft, James Strom, both guys that can get on base a lot. Trey Kraft, and I'll go ahead and touch on him a little bit, still hitting just .216 with 8 base hits. He scored 15 runs, which is, I'm looking at it right now, that's third most on this team because he's got 17 walks, an on-base percentage of .491. Actually, both him and Nick Wroblewski, 2 out of the 3 catchers for the Lightning, have an OBP of .491. Wroblewski's walked 15 times. So both of those two guys, despite not being the loudest bats and the most productive bats, are doing a good job of getting themselves on the base pass. And for Nick Wroblewski, especially later in the game, when he draws that walk, it gives Coach Billings the opportunity or the decision to put in a pinch runner. But for Trey Kraft, when he gets on late in the games, he's a pretty speedy guy, so likely Coach Billings will not elect to take him out for a pinch runner. But both of those guys, regardless of if they can hit or not, they're getting themselves on the base pass, and they're getting themselves in. Wroblewski, only 6-run scorer compared to Trey Kraft's 15. But then again, it all depends on who's up after them. And of course, Trey Kraft, a little bit more speedy than Nick Wroblewski. But both of them are catchers, and both of them, all 3 catchers, Cole Bullen included, are very speedy for the Lightning. So there's really not a hole. There's really no liability in this lineup in terms of speed. Charlie Keller, Reed Snyder, James Strom, all tall and big guys, but they've got unsuspecting speed. And I'd like to see the Lightning steal a couple more bags.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't too long ago that I was here and the Winter Park Diamond Dogs were here. I believe it was last Saturday that we played each other, and it was the Leesburg Lightning coming on top 10-3, but they just completely abused the base pass, stealing left and right, and that was a big point of emphasis in that game. At least it seemed like is that they were taking off, at every given chance that they could. Even with we saw a couple double steals as well. So curious to see if Rich Billings kind of implements that strategy here today.
Right, and as it still stands, Leesburg towards the middle of the pack, along with the Diamond Dogs in terms of stolen bases with 69, Diamond Dogs with 62. The Sanford River Rats lead with 105. So would like to see that uptick a little bit here as Coach Billings might try to play a little bit of small ball and get the legs moving a little bit more to put guys in scoring position. After last night, they really need it. The Lightning didn't get their first runner to third base until the 9th inning, which is very unlike this team. But back at home at Pat Thomas Stadium and Buddy Lowe Field, and they've got a big crowd that can rally behind them for tonight, hoping to give their new starting pitcher, Brian Berthoff, a couple more runs of run support. And we will see that shortly as Berthoff will head out to the field. We'll step aside for the national anthem. But TJ, when we come back, it's first pitch, Diamond Dogs, Lightning, coming up when we come back. Welcome back to Pat Thomas Stadium. Brian Berthoff will take the mound. He stands at 5'11", 135, originally out of Lake Sumter with Coach Billings now transferring to Holy Family University out of Leesburg, Florida, right around the corner. Righty. And I'll tell you his stats once again. 4.26 ERA, 3-0, 7 appearances, all out of the bullpen, 12 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, just 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts. His strikeout to walk rate is definitely one of the best in terms of all the Lightning pitching, which have struggled with the free passes, and some guys have struggled with the punch-outs as well. But we saw a pretty quick game yesterday, TJ. We didn't see a strikeout until the 4th inning. That went for both teams.
Yeah, and that certainly surprised me because this Diamond Dogs team has struck out a whole bunch. I do have the numbers here. Yeah, 257 strikeouts in their 28 games, so averaging near 10 strikeouts a game, and I believe it was just 6 yesterday, and the same went for Leesburg. Their strikeouts numbers were, again, I believe at 6 as well. So, yeah, not too many strikeouts, but the big thing for the Winter Park pitching staff at least was they did limit the walks, which I'm curious to see if that same trend continues today, because the last time that we were here, I believe it was 16 walks issued by Diamond Dog pitchers, so certainly don't want to walk that many here today, but it'll be Roberto Odor leading things off.
The Diamond Dogs and the Lightning, this is their 6th meeting between the two teams right now as it stands. The Lightning up 4-1 against the Diamond Dogs, looking to make it 5-1. Berthoff wheels around the first pitch. It's a ground ball out to Reed Snyder. He collects, and the peg to first is in time. We are underway at Pat Thomas Stadium. One out.
1 pitch, 1 out for Mr. Berthoff. Not a bad start.
Don't see a lot of first pitch swinging against Lightning pitching, and at least in the first inning, in the first batter. I've yet to say we are underway so late after the first pitch was thrown, just because it's usually a ball or a strike, maybe a foul ball. Batter is Adonis Velez. It's called strike on him. He's a shortstop for the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah, but good to get this game underway again. We were under delay for a while. It didn't rain 1 drop here.
Just lightning in the area, and luckily it moved out. An hour delayed. This one's hit to left field. Coming in, Eli Thurman. He will call off the infield and make the grab for out number 2. Quick 2 outs for Brian Berthoff, and that's what we should be seeing today from him, just in terms of the way he pitches and gets weak contact, early contact, and quick outs.
Yeah, pounding the zone early.
Here's Luis Rivero. Good night for him last night. 2 for 3 with a run scored, a walk and a strikeout for him.
Yeah, and Rivero out of St. Leo. Hitting .293 on the year, so not super uncharacteristic. Has 13 runs scored, which is tied for the most between 2 other Diamond Dog hitters for the most runs scored on the team.
0-1 to him. Breaking ball missed upstairs. We'll see that slider from Brian Berthoff, and it is a sweeper. It's got a lot of horizontal break. He'll start it on the inner half, and it will likely go to the outer half, and it's really hard for batters to get a barrel on it. Next pitch is laced into left field. That'll be down for a base hit.
Yeah, so the hot hitting for Rivero continues, and yes, in yesterday's game we saw a hit very similar to that, and he also had one up the middle. So Rivero seeing the ball pretty well. Again, I know the All-Star game is past, but Rivero has certainly been an All-Star level player for Winter Park. Don't want to say he was snubbed, but certainly has been one of the Diamond Dogs' better players. And for the Diamond Dogs, who have lost 2 All-Stars, both Gabe Young and Michael Graziano will be out for the rest of the season. Again, their summers are just over. They, would like to get a little break as we're kind of in the last week, and they want to move back into their schools shortly so they can get some work there as well. But that brings up Ben Barrow.
Barrow, the first baseman for the Diamond Dogs tonight.
Yeah, and first time playing first base, I believe. Have not seen him over there, and with Gabe Young being out for the season, he had played first base for a large number of the Diamond Dogs games, so now they're trying to switch things up. We saw Collado over there yesterday, Collado behind the plate today.
So inning continues after that 2-out base knock. Runner goes, pitches a swing and a miss. That one gets away from Kraft. He collects. The throw to first. It takes James Strom off the bag, but he grabbed it before. Wow, what a grab by James Strom. Not the best throw from Trey Kraft. Threw it right into traffic. but James Strom maneuvers around to make the grab for out number 3 and a strikeout to end the first inning. So 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left as we head into the bottom half of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Diamond Dogs. The Lightning coming up when we come back. Bottom of the first inning and a clean top half, much needed. It's like a breath of fresh air. I mentioned during the pregame that the Lightning have given up 33 first inning runs. That's 13 more than any other inning. So first inning struggles, no more at least for today. But we'll see going forward. That is going to be the key as the bats don't have to work with their backs against the wall. First batter for the Lightning, it's going to be Eli Thurman facing off against Newt Rocky, and he sees a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Rocky been one of the more durable and consistent starters for the Diamond Dogs, able to take the mound pretty much every 5th day, which has been a good thing.
Tapper, first chance for Rocky. He fields it cleanly, and the underhand toss is in time to get Eli Thurman 1 out.
Yeah, so seeing some quick starts by both pitchers. Again, makes it much easier as a pitcher if you can get outs early on in the count.
We mentioned before that it didn't rain here, and it was just lightning in the area, but really no lightning closer than a couple miles, and it's turned into a beautiful night here. Here's Zari the batter. First pitch he sees misses low and away. Made a note also in the pregame that Irizarry, the past 4 or 5 games, has been batting towards the bottom of the lineup just so he can see more fastballs, maybe take advantage of pitchers thinking they have some easier guys to take care of in the batter's box, knowing that it's the bottom of the lineup. But Irizarry moves back up to the top. We've seen him bat in the 2-hole a lot, right behind Eli Thurman. In the start of the season, we saw those 2 platoon for the leadoff spot, but Thurman, wouldn't say beat him out for it, but has assumed that role for most of the games this season.
Yeah, and Irizarry's out in center today. We saw him in left yesterday and did make kind of a critical miscue out and left. The ball got under his glove, and that was in the 6th inning. Allowed for a really important second run for the Diamond Dogs to come around to score.
And that was Irizarry's first error of the season, and that ball just rolled up his arm and rolled behind him, allowed a run to score. But him and Thurman definitely have been platooning this whole season at center field. When one plays in center, the other plays in left, and vice versa. Don't usually see either of the 2 extra hit. I would say that left and center are pretty much covered by both of them, and honestly just depends on how coach is feeling. I'm pretty sure he told me that. I don't know if it was regarding Irizarry and Thurman, but I can infer that It's whatever he's really thinking. Irizarry or Thurman in left and center. Sometimes we'll see Thurman play 2 games in a row out there, and sometimes the same for Irizarry. Full count pitch, here it is, and that's nowhere near. A 1-out walk to the Lightning center fielder. Brings up Ryan Jenkins with 1 on and 1 down.
So again, we'll talk about it all night, but yesterday the hitting with runners on base for the Lightning didn't go so well. Their first opportunity here early on in this one, so we'll see what their 3, 4, 5 batters can potentially do about it.
I think it was just a couple of at-bats with runners in scoring position. I mentioned before that the Lightning didn't get their first run to third until the 9th inning.
Yeah, and that caught both of us by surprise. But I think part of it was, well, the starter was Nick Wilson for the Diamond Dogs, and he does pitch to contact. You know, he tries to induce balls on the ground. I did talk to him after the game. You know, he does have some sink to his fastball, so maybe that was the root.
Ground ball, this could be 2. Shortstop Velez tosses to second for 1, and on to first. It's a double play, and that takes care of the Lightning here in the first inning. So another ground ball double play. That's 4 since going back to last night, and the Diamond Dogs doing a great job at helping their pitchers out. So Jenkins grounds into this 6-4-3 and sends us to the 2nd inning. No score here in Leesburg. Top 2 here in Leesburg, and it is just a gorgeous night. Sky's got a little yellow, little pink, little indigo purple. You know, that used to be my least favorite color.
Indigo?
When I was a kid, I would always...
For what reason?
I would pick it up, and I think it's dark blue, and I'd start scribbling like the sky, and it would turn out to be purple. So that's a little fun fact. Tyler Boyesen is the batter, the left fielder for the Diamond Dogs. Bertoft gave up that 2-out base knock to Luis Rivera, but would strike out Ben Barrow. And then the Lightning go down 1-2-3, but that was after a 1-out walk. Ryan Jenkins grounded into the 6-4-3.
Yeah, and I mentioned it right before he did ground into that double play. How will the Lightning batters fare in this game with guys on base? And first opportunity advantage, Diamond Dogs. But for Boyesen, just his 5th game played, only 9 at-bats, but does have a handful of hits.
A miss by Bertoff and an audible groan from this crowd. Didn't miss by much. 2-1. Popped up into center field. Irizarry ranging over, and he's got that one for out number 1. Couple fly balls, a ground ball, and a strikeout. Bertoff really can do it all, and it looked like that pitch did miss a little bit, either up or in, but a really good pitch nonetheless. And he will face Joel Collado, excuse me.
Yeah, Collado, 13 hits on the season, but 6 of them of the extra base hit variety, so making those hits count when he does get them. 4 doubles, a triple, and a homer. To go along with 13 RBIs, which leads this Diamond Dogs team.
Bertoff didn't quite snap that sweeper enough, and bit inside, falls behind 2-0. And now 3-0. not close or not far misses from Bertoft. Last night it was really good pitching for the Lightning, just one earned run.
Yeah, that was surprising to me when I looked at the box score following the game. Be a 4-pitch walk here for Collado.
Don't usually see that from Bertoft, who's got excellent command of the zone.
And I think it was really just that one play in the 7th where there was the grounder to short, and it kind of got under the glove of
Right.
Wroblewski. Of course, the play on Irizarry, and, well, that was really all the scoring for the game. So,
Well, I'm looking at the box score here. There's no earned runs. I did make a note of it that last night before the game was wrapped up, like right at the end, I saw that there was one earned run. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was no earned runs. I mean, that one's hammered into left field, but it'll hang up there for Eli Thurman, 2 down. And going back to what I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if there was no earned runs, because those 3 errors contributed to 4 runs. The one with Jenkins allowed 2 to score. Irizarry's allowed 1 to score. So then that just leaves one other run. And I'm trying to.
well, it was the
sack fly.
yeah.
But I think that runner was aboard due to, I think, Jenkins' throw.
Yeah, so maybe it was ruled fielder's choice, which I'm not sure how that ruling works, but I guess the fielder's choice is not technically via air, and then that guy came around to score.
Well, whatever it was, great pitching performance started by Austin Petticourt, followed by Fury, who we saw for the first time last night, Gunnar Plante and Blake Tipmore.
But yeah, no, we hit it right on. It was just a couple of defensive miscues by Leesburg that was really the difference. Of course, there was an error in the first, which allowed for the first run to come around to score, which ultimately was really the only run that mattered. But
so batter Kai Lewin stands in the left-handed batter's box. Next pitch he sees, misses upstairs. First and only lefty in the lineup for the Diamond Dogs tonight.
yeah, and again, missing Gabe Young, which is one of those lefties. But this Diamond Dogs roster just doesn't have many lefties to begin with.
2-1, and the bat goes further than the ball.
And Lewin, we saw that out of him yesterday as well. The first at bat again. Again, we were talking about the pine tar. Maybe he needs some of that spray, but having trouble holding on to the bat lately. And it does appear to be a new bat for Lewin. And he used to swing sort of a more black and brown bat, and this one is more beige, lighter color. So maybe something with that bat. Maybe he doesn't have a grip on it yet. Needs to probably go to the store and buy one.
Doesn't look, I can't tell from here, but doesn't look like he has a lot of pine tar, at least up to the middle of the bat. That one misses just a bit inside.
Yeah, that one looked really close from Bertoff.
Another full count. This time it's Kai Lewin. Bertoff trying to see just 4 batters in the second inning, same as the first. 3-2 runner goes. The pitch called, strike 3. Have a seat. Ryan Bertoff takes care of Kai Lewin. He faces 4 batters, gives up the 1-out walk to Collado, and sends us to the bottom half of the second inning, still scoreless. TJ French, Vic Maslia here with you in Leesburg, Florida. Sun's starting to set here over Lake Harris to our right over the right field wall. And standing in is Charlie Keller. Was 0 for 4 last night. That drops his batting average to 291. 23 hits and 79 at-bats. This is game 27 of 27 games for Charlie Keller. Is the only Lightning player to start and play in every game so far this summer. And he's got the most extra base hits with 8, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. That's also a team lead. 1-0 to him is a called strike from Newt Rocky. Rocky gave up the 1-out walk to Irizarry, but he still faced the minimum, got Ryan Jenkins to roll over, and got the 6-4-3 double play turned behind him. Keller pops this one up out of play, and Lightning faithful really stuck it out for this hour rain delay. It was supposed to start at 7, ended up starting at 8 o'clock, pretty much right on the nose, and we've got a packed house here on a Friday night, and no better place to be than Pat Thomas Stadium, Friday night under the lights, which just came on. 1-2, that's inside, good take by Charlie Keller. Keller struggled in the All-Star game, went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but if he's going to have an off night, we'll let it be in the All-Star game, and we'll go right back at it. 2-2 to him. And that one, again, is fouled out of play. Good fight by Charlie Keller. After him, Cole Boland and Marco Mueces. Both Boland and Keller the extra hitters for tonight's ball game. Some ominous clouds, but I believe it's just because the sun's setting a little bit and mixed with that blue sky that which once was. 2-2's popped up towards left field. It's Roberto Odor, the third baseman, to grab it right behind the third base bag. And shallow outfield for out number 1, and that will bring up Cole Boland.
Yeah, so seeing a pretty efficient start from really both sides here in the early going. Again, we saw New Rocky induce a double play after giving up a 1-out walk in the first, and then gets a quick out here of the leadoff man, Keller.
Cole Boland, the switch hitter, batting from the left side versus the righty Newt Rocky. And, of course, has seen more right-handed pitchers than left, but is hitting just 205 against righties, 8 for 39. His splits are actually better against lefty pitchers, hitting 273. But remember, he's gotten an advantage on both of the sides. But 3 for 11 against lefties and 8 for 39 against righties. And he takes the ball up and away.
Yeah, we saw him get at-bats from both sides yesterday. He was the one who grounded into the inning-ending double play.
One of the few times the Lightning had runner in scoring position. It was first and second, and it was a 5-3 double play where the third baseman just stepped on the bag and fired a strike to first to get Cole Boland. Catcher, extra hitter for tonight, is in a 3-0 count. Next one from Rocky. Painted on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Tomorrow night we'll be in Winter Park, 6 o'clock start. And then Sunday we've got a makeup game against the Suns. 3-1, popped up out of play foul. It'll be a full count. Sunday makeup game. That game's going to be at 5 just because it was supposed to be our 4th of July game, which was rained out. And so that'll be a 5 o'clock start on Sunday evening. And then Monday, Tuesday at Pat Thomas Stadium. So 3 straight games at home for the Lightning. 3-2, hit the other way. That's a fair ball down the third base line. Boland is around first base. He's digging for 2. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. A 1-out double for Cole Boland.
Yeah, and we saw the Lightning get a plethora of hits yesterday. I believe it was 8 in the game, but no extra base hits. And looks like their first hit today is of the extra base variety, and they have a runner in scoring position here with just 1 down.
And that'll bring up Marco Mueces with a runner in scoring position. A great job by Cole Boland to hit it the other way. Got a pitch on the outer half, a little bit elevated, and that's just called hitting it where it's pitched, and was able to guide it right down the third base bag. So he is in scoring position for Moises. The first pitch is grounded towards short. Velez will go to third. That one is off of Cole Bolin, and it gets away. He races home to score, and the Lightning strike first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, so we saw a play similar like that yesterday where the call was pretty questionable, but this one, not so much. Velez, again, the right idea there, but with Bolin just right in front of him, didn't look like he really had a chance to, I don't want to say get him out, but if he were to have, he would have had to elevate that ball, and he really just threw it right into the runner Bolin, bounced off Bolin himself, and it kind of skates into that big foul territory and allows for the Lightning to get their first run.
I like the idea, but Bolin had a great jump, and it was a little tough to handle, especially with Bolin running right in front of him. And remember, you have to tag the runner because of no force, so catching it and tagging it. If I'm Velez, I'm taking the out at first base, but that's just me. Called strike on a Reed Snyder. But those are just the little things, you know, TJ, where do you have time to get the lead runner? It's a huge out if they do. It's 2 out with a runner aboard at first rather than 2 out and a runner aboard at third base. But I'm taking that second out if I can.
Yeah, and that was my point is Velez would have had to elevate that ball and throw it kind of over the sliding Bolin, and then he may not have had, or the third baseman Odor may not have had time to get the tag down.
Right, exactly. So a little in-between play, tough decision-making, but the Lightning on the better end of it. And Reed Snyder trying to knock in Marco Moises, took advantage and got to second base on that play. So obviously scored a fielder's choice as Moises reaches base and then advanced to second. Then it's an error, E6, on the shortstop Velez for that throw that got away. Moises dancing around at second, 2-1 on a hop to Velez. He'll go to second, and they've got Moises, who is drifting too far off the bag.
So that time a heads-up play by Velez kind of makes up for the mistake just a moment ago and is able to nab Moises. And it'll be back-to-back fielder's choices, and as Reed Snyder ends up on first. But, yeah, originally the ball was smoked. I thought Velez would have kind of learned from the mistake he just made and go over to first, but no, he saw that Moises was kind of jogging back, or at least it looked like, and he makes the quick snap throw to Enterkin over at second.
And it wasn't as if Moises didn't try to get back. He took a big secondary lead, and that ball was hit, hit super hard, so not entirely his fault. And James Strom hits this one in the gap. That one is going to lay down for a base hit. Reed Snyder digging for 3. Here's the throw. It'll be cut off. Runners at the corners now, 2 down. The batter, Trey Kraft, after that single from James Strom.
Yeah, so we're seeing a much better job out of the Lightning hitters, at least in this inning, of hitting with guys on base, or at least putting the ball in play.
Well, keeping the line moving, I think, is the biggest thing. You got a hit from Bolin. Moises reached after that fielder's choice. Same thing with Reed Snyder. Both of them could have been outs. Of course, the one with Reed Snyder was an out. So back-to-back fielder's choices. Moises was out 6-4 at second. And now runners at the corners for Trey Kraft. I mentioned during the pregame that Kraft's numbers might not jump out at you, but if you look a little bit deeper, he's got 17 walks. And remember, he doesn't play in every game due to him being a catcher. 17 walks, 15 runs scored, an on-base percentage of .491. So he's getting on the base pass at least half the time he's up almost. Ground ball towards third. Odor makes a strong throw, and it's in time to get Trey Kraft. But the Lightning do pick up a run. Cole Bolin comes around to score. It's a 1-0 lead for Leesburg as we head into the third inning. Into the third inning we go. The Lightning picked up a run after Cole Bullen scored. Adonis Velez was trying to get him out, him being the lead runner at third base, but the ball glanced off of Bullen, and he was able to race home and score. Luckily for the Diamond Dogs, they were able to limit the damage to just one run versus a Lightning team who loves to score in bunches. So, to be honest, TJ, that's a pretty big success if you're Winter Park.
Yeah, and Leesburg did break a 10-inning scoreless streak dating back to yesterday's game, but the first batter here is Gladding. Gladding had a pretty nice night yesterday. 1 for 3, hit the only extra base hit in the game. It was a double to the opposite field and ended up scoring in that 3-run 7th.
Popped up foul ground. Trey Kraft will give it chase, and he runs out of room. It'll be a foul ball from Pierce Gladding.
And again, Pierce missed a handful of games, really the bulk of the middle part of the season, because of his being in the transfer portal, but he's back now, hitting .277.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Bertoft into his third inning of work. And missed with the breaking ball. I'm guessing somewhere up and in, but that looked pretty good to me up here.
I think it did miss a little high, and again, that's just the drawback of not having the yacker up here. Can't see the strike zone fully.
2-1, tapped back out to Bertoft. He'll make the underhand toss for out number 1. Pierce Gladding is taken care of, and it'll bring up Eric Entrikin, the second baseman for the Diamond Dogs. After him, it'll be back to the top of the order.
Yeah, Entrikin out of Embry-Riddle, along with a couple of his teammates. The starter, Newt Rocky, is also out of Embry-Riddle. And then there's a reliever, Justin Webster. He may get some playing time today. See how the game goes, but he's slotted to be a reliever.
Entrikin did not play in the game last night. At second base, it was Lee Anthony Santiago, who was 0 for 3, did score a run.
Yeah, and Santiago was the one who grounded it to short and ended up allowing for 2 runs to score.
Ryan Jenkins trying to make the play at home. Was the right decision. It just took him a while to get the ball, not out of his glove, but it seemed like he wind up a little extra.
Yeah, maybe the catcher, Wroblewski, just wasn't expecting that much heat on it.
And it got under his glove and allowed 2 runners to score. Big swing and a miss from Entrikin, makes it 1-2. And maybe looking back on it, Ryan Jenkins chooses to get the out at first base instead of home, but it's such a tough decision to make, a split-second decision. 1-2, just barely misses with the breaking ball. Nods his head in approval, not a bad miss at all. Makes it an even 2-2 count. Sun almost fully set now. Man, that was quick.
Yeah, was.
Seemed quicker than usual. 2-2. Got him. Foul tipped into the mitt of Trey Kraft, and Brian Bertoft keeps his 1 strikeout and inning streak going and extends it to 3.
Well, it may not seem like it, Vic, but the sun will start to set now a little bit earlier each day, so maybe that's potentially why. But I think you're just talking in terms of how it went from light to dark.
Right, yeah, just super quick. Of course, we started an hour late, so it is interesting to see the darkness hit so early in the game. This is hit well into left field, and it'll be down for a base hit. Roberto Odor picks up his first knock of the game. And
yeah, and his first knock of the series, he went 0 for 4 yesterday, was in that leadoff spot, and here in the third picks up a nice 2-out single. Just stayed right on the first pitch he saw. It looked like an inside pitch and just turned on it nicely.
So that single spoils the chance of a 1-2-3 frame for Brian Bertoft, who will have at least faced 4 batters in all 3 innings so far. Hopefully it'll be just 4 if he can get Adonis Velez, who takes a called strike.
And Bertoft is really good at getting that slider in the zone. Seen it a number of times today where he kind of just, you know, it's almost like a saucer pitch, but it's in the zone, and so it keeps hitters off balance.
Runner goes, pitches outside. The throw down is too high, but Odoro very speedy. Not sure if a perfect strike would have gotten him out anyways. And remember, Bertoft is not bringing the fastest pitches to the plate. Not that he has a slow windup or delivery, But,
Yeah.
of course, the drop in velocity along with Odor being so fast, it's so tough to get him.
Yeah, Odor's 18th stolen bag of the season, which leads the team.
1-1 is hammered into left field, but it looks like it'll hang up for Eli Thurman. A couple feet shy of the warning track. He hauls that one in for out number 3. Berthoff once again faces 4 batters, gives up just 1 base hit, and that will send us to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still a 1-0 lead for Leesburg. Bottom 3. It'll be Ledger Pleasant to lead things off for the Lightning. Brian Berthoff, good job last inning. Gave up just the 2-out base knock to Roberto Odor, was able to get a fly out. And that's 3 straight innings. They all look pretty similar.
Yeah.
You got a ground out fly out, and then a 2-out single, strikeout in the first. A fly out, 1-out single, another fly out, and a strikeout in the second, and then a ground out, strikeout, 2-out base knock, and then another fly out. So very similar 3 innings from him. Faced 4 batters in all 3 frames.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if head coach Rich Billings,
That's grounded to third. Roberto Odor takes care of Pleasant.
if Rich Billings will elect to go with a new pitcher or keep Berthoff out for his 4th inning of work again. We saw the starter, Austin Petticourt, yesterday was working pretty well, but ended up getting pulled in that game.
Right.
Before the 4th inning.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You could see it going either way.
But he's working very effectively, and I'm sure his pitch count is down again.
I believe
hasn't
Petticourt
walked.
went into the 4th, but didn't record an out. So we'll see. I assume Berthoff will at least get a chance to go 4 innings. We'll see if it can be done.
Yeah, that's right, because the 4th inning was when the Diamond Dogs got the bases loaded, and then
Right.
Leesburg ended up
Ryan
getting out of
Fury.
it.
Eli Thurman, the batter. Check swing. He went around, says the home plate umpire. Only seen a starting pitcher go 4 innings. I know Zach Merkin did it once. I believe maybe one other time. But, TJ, to be honest, I don't know if it's been more than twice. 1-1 misses away. And for those of you at home probably asking me, why can't I just know every stat? Well, that's a tough one to know. I'd have to look at, like, every box score to figure it out. So something that it's a little bit tough for me to figure out. But I do know Zach Merkin threw one. I looked at that last night when Petticourt was going out for his 4th inning. But I'll say it again, I'm pretty sure that it's no more than 2 or no more than 3.
It certainly only happened a handful of times for us as well. So, really just a trend here in the Florida League is guys not really being extended out that long.
Hitters count for Thurman. Newt Rocky delivers. Broken bat, foul ball.
Yeah, some firewood there for Thurman. Feel bad for him. That bat is no longer any good. He'll opt for a replacement.
So he'll pick up a new wand and has a full count pitch coming from Newt Rocky. And, of course, Coach Billings, even if starting pitchers are doing well, he does not like to throw them that much in terms of pitch counts. And it's more so that he wants to get as many guys in the game as possible.
Well, and especially you guys are in the midst of what is it? How many games in a row? Like 5 or 6?
Well, right now, it's Thursday through Tuesday.
Yeah, so it appears to be 6. Again, that we just got back from the All-Star break, so some guys should be fresh. You know, guys that were not in the All-Star game, but
And even if Coach Billings elects to use guys for 1 or 2 innings like he normally does, that's going to catch up to guys through 5 straight games.
so maybe he needs to get length out of Bertov.
Exactly right. And we'll see Fury make a start in the next couple of days, and hopefully he can give some length as well. Irizarry, the batter, he lines that foul. But that is the one thing I think holding the Lightning back is their starting pitching. Of course, past couple of games, we've seen the offense go quiet. Just 2 runs against the Squeeze back on Sunday's game, and then no runs last night in a shutout. But just with how good this offense can be, don't foresee that being a problem going forward. The starting pitching, though, has been an issue since the first game, really, and it's not really recovered. Some guys have left, and other guys are just still not performing at the starter role. Healthy lead for Thurman. We'll see if he tries to take 2. He stays put. Next pitch to Irizarry misses off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Ledger Pleasant with the ground out towards Roberto Odor. Still a packed house here at Pat Thomas Stadium, and everyone enjoying their Friday night. Thurman does go, but it's fouled away. He'll have to return. Thought Thurman would try to steal second there. But he'll have to go back, and Irizarry tried to protect him. Not sure if it was a hit and run or if Irizarry was just trying to protect him with a swing. He did have a 1-1 count. Now, with a 1-2 count, has to choke up against Newt Rocky. Thurman stays put. Pitch misses upstairs. What a name Newt Rocky is.
Yeah, it really is a great baseball name, isn't
Yeah.
it? I've told him that many times. He's a cool guy, so I've been able to talk to him a handful of times.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Good fight by Irizarry. And they'll check back over to first. Thurman's back in there safely. Lightning in their white jerseys with the red shoulder pads and the stripes along the stomach of their jerseys. Lightning written across the chest in black. This is off the end of the bat towards shirt. Velez bobbles it, and he's going to have to put it into his back pocket. That's going to be an E6, and Irizarry reaches. He was trying to go to second to at least get 1 out. I would be very surprised if they would be able to turn 2 on that with how fast Irizarry is and how slow that ball was hit towards Velez, and he was unable to field it cleanly. And the Diamond Dogs get no outs. Now it's 2 on with 1 down for Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah, Irizarry really caught that one off the end of the bat. I want to see the replay here. Or it really got jammed on it.
Right.
So I was thinking it might have had some spin on it, which it may still have, which kind of maybe caught Velez off guard.
Right, I was thinking that too, but it seemed like he gloved it and it was on the transfer. But regardless, it's an error for Velez. That's his second of the ball game, actually. That first one, trying to get Cole Bolin out at third base, allowed him to score. So now 2 on, 1 down. Next pitch to Jenkins, just gets a piece of it, fouls it back. The Diamond Dogs already up to 2 errors. Leesburg had 3 in last night's game, and all three of the errors accounted for 4 runs, actually, including that Jenkins one that allowed 2 to score.
And the 1 error thus far today has led to the Lightning 1 run, and the second one here in the third still pending whether or not it will lead to damage. But again, just in baseball, you know, you give the team extra outs, and that's going to be a balk, it looks like.
Right, yeah, it was an interesting check over back to second base. Of course, when you lift that leg up, you don't have to throw. It's the snap throw where you spin around where you have to throw the baseball. And it seemed like he initially started out well and had almost like a jab step, stutter step in basketball, and was really, I think, caught off guard by Thurman. Something caught his eye that really disrupted it, and And any sort of flinch like that, they're going to call a balk. So now 2 in scoring position for Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah, it is that almost kind of like a travel as he picked up his leg and then put it back down.
Right, I was just about to say that front foot, once you pick it up, you've got to start spinning around. Then you can let the foot down and you can decide whether or not to throw it. But for Rocky, he picked that foot up, put it down, and then chose to spin around, and that's going to be a balk all day. And actually, the fans here were pretty quick to call it, and balks are usually hard to notice. That one a little bit more apparent, but still, good job by the Lightning faithful. 1-2 to Jenkins, check swing. They will appeal and say he didn't go. I believe that was the right call. And here, technically that error was with Irizarry's ground ball, but it looked like he was trying to go to second. So if Thurman just scores rather than an Irizarry doesn't, would you say, not in terms of stats or anything, would you say that error resulted in a run scoring or not? Called strike 3 to Ryan Jenkins.
Well, I guess we're still awaiting that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think so because, well, you know, the balk may not have happened, and then obviously there'd be 2 down in the inning facing, you know, Jenkins, who just got out. So
That's
I
a
would
tough
say
one.
no.
So that'll bring up Charlie Keller, 2 down now.
Would say yes, the error does allow for the run to score if they're hypothetically.
Takes a big hack and miss at that fastball.
But a good rebound at bat for Rocky, who kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit, allowing for runners to advance to second and third with less than 2 outs, but a big strikeout.
Another cut and a miss from Charlie Keller, and he'll take a second to collect himself. Now down 0-2. Lightning with a good chance here. They had 2 in scoring position with just 1 out, and Jenkins' strikeout made it 2. And now an 0-2 count to Charlie Keller. Newt Rocky looking to get out of this inning without any run damage. 0-2, it'll have to wait. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I like that 0-2 pitch selection there from Rocky. Again, you get ahead of him, he swings through a couple of pitches. You don't want to lay one in the zone on 0-2 and have them, or have Charlie Keller, do the damage on an 0-2 count.
1-2's in the dirt. Great stop by Collado to keep Thurman at third. Both speedy guys at second and third base, so Collado really has to keep everything in front of him. If not, Thurman and Irizarry will both take advantage. Deuces wild as we're fully under the lights here on a beautiful Friday night in Leesburg. Keller trying to add on to the Lightning lead as he fouls that one away. We'll try again with the 2-2.
And Keller certainly looked a little bit more on time with that pitch. Again, swung through the first 2 pitches he saw, then watched the next 2, but appeared to be on that fastball, it looked like.
Rocky gets his sign from Collado. Comes set at the letters. 2-2. Hammered into right field. Coming on is Kylo Wynn. He dives and makes the grab. Oh boy, what a play. Kylo Wynn just saved 2 runs and takes away an extra base hit from Charlie Keller. That'll send us into the 4th inning. And no further scoring for the Lightning. It remains a 1-0 lead. Into the fourth inning we go. Great grab by Kai Lewin, diving to make the grab. Stole an extra base hit away from Charlie Keller and saved 2 runs from coming around to score and keeps us at a 1-0 game Lightning lead. And it's Brian Bertoft out there for his 4th inning. First batter he will face will be Luis Rivero.
Yeah, Rivero singled back in the first. But just to go back to that catch by Kai Lewin, yeah, that pitch looked pretty close. But, yeah, I would hope Rocky would give his right fielder a nice salute on the way into the dugout for saving 2 runs on that catch.
That next one looked like it was the same location, just a little bit higher, but it was a called strike for Bertoft. Now 1-1 count. I'm sure Newt Rocky did. Ground ball foul.
Because Rocky kind of got himself into a little bit of a jam there. Of course, there was an error by the shortstop Velez, but men on second and third with 1 out, and the Leesburg Lightning unable to come up with a run.
1-2 fouled away. That was Bertoft's 40th pitch. See what he can do with number 41. 1-2. Popped up, shallow right field. Moises breaks back, now comes in and makes the grab. Hit a little bit further than I anticipated, actually. So it was about medium depth for Moises, but he takes care of Luis Rivero for out number 1. Back-to-back flyouts induced by Bertoft. Ended the 3rd inning with a flyout to left from Adonis Velez. And now Ben Barrow bats. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first. He was the first victim for Brian Bertoft. First pitch grounded to short. Ledger Pleasant fields it cleanly. High throw, but thankfully you got a tall first baseman. James Strom brings it down. 2 down. Always good when you got a 6'3" first baseman over there. I said 6'3". It might not be the exact right number. Now,
No,
of course, I got to go look at it.
You're exactly right, though. Definitely causes for an infielder to have some wiggle room in their throws. And you can miss a little high, and to have a tall first baseman like that is certainly important.
6'3", right on the money, baby.
Yep.
6'3", 215, James Strom is.
And he looks all of that 6'3" frame.
0-1 swing and miss. And that's actually funny you bring that up because, you know, a lot of times schools like to embellish with how tall their players are.
Sure.
But Strom looks every bit as 6'3". With cleats on, he may be 6'4".
Well, I think it's really the kids, or the players, I should say.
0-2, called strike 3. How about a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Bertoft? First time he's faced the minimum. And wow, that was lightning quick. Yes, pun intended. That'll send us to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still a 1-0 lead. Have yourself a night, Brian Bertoft. bottom of the 4th inning, and a 9-pitch frame from Brian Bertoft. Got a fly ball, ground ball, and a strikeout, and that has just been what he's done tonight. First inning, same thing. Also had a base hit mixed in there, 2 flyouts and a strikeout in the second, a ground out flyout and a strikeout in the third, and all 3 last half inning, and he's just done a great job at. And that's what I've been saying, TJ, is he will get the strikeouts, and he can be a little bit of a strikeout pitcher, but also induces weak contact. And he just does a little bit of everything. And the main thing he does, the overarching thing, is he gets outs, and he's very efficient at it.
Certainly, only giving up 2 hits today. And as you just noted, he has done a little bit of both, 4 strikeouts. But when he's not striking guys out, he's inducing, weak pop-ups or grounders on the infield. But seeing a little bit of a pitcher's duel here, potentially yet again.
Cole Bullen, the batter, he takes a called strike. He had a double back in the second inning.
Yeah, and is the only run to score thus far in this game. Down in the count here, 1-2. Rocky out for his 4th inning of work.
1-2 pitch misses low and away. After Bullen, it'll be Moises and Snyder. Middle of the order is what got that run in the second. It was a double by Cole Bullen, and it was an error by Velez at shortstop, which glanced off of Cole Bullen and allowed him to score. After that, Newt Rocky did a good job of limiting the damage, allowed just the 1 run. Payoff pitch, poked at second base, and it's Intrican fields it cleanly for out number 1. First put out for him, although he was involved in the 6-4-3 double play.
Headed to the plate for the Lightning, number 9, Marco Moises.
Marco Moises reached base on a fielder's choice. It was the ball off his bat that Velez decided to go to third and hit off Bullen and allowed him to score, and that's where we stand, 1-0. He taps this towards third. Odor fields off his glove and into his hand, and that one gets away into the outfield. Moises racing to second. He is going to stand there safe as that ball trickles away yet again, and the ball just pinballing around the infield and outfield. An interesting play, actually. Yeah. Odor tried to field it with his glove. It hit off his glove and went right into his bare hand, and I thought for a second he might have a chance, but Moises just too fast, and he airmailed the throw. So it's going to be a hit for Moises, and then an error on the throw, which is the right call. That was a super tough play for Odor. Even if he fields it cleanly, I don't think he's getting a really speedy Moises at first base.
Yeah, and I guess in hindsight, you are to throw that ball over to first, but would like to see Odor eat that one, especially after it bobbled off his glove initially. Now, if you field it cleanly, then maybe come up firing. But I like the idea to try and get the out, but Moises is pretty speedy. And, yeah, I think that ruling is correct. Infield single for Moises and advances on the throwing error by Odor.
And that'll bring up Reed Snyder, also reached base back in the second off a fielder's choice.
But somewhat of a swinging bunt for Moises ends up placing him in.
Oh, and that one's hot off the glove of Odor again and into left field. That'll be another base hit this time. Way too hot for Odor to handle. Talk about 2 very different plays, both resulting in a hit towards the hot corner.
Yeah, that ball was smoked. But Odor playing on that lip of the grass, I wonder why he was playing so far in. If he's a step or 2 back, I feel like he can field that cleanly on the hop.
At least block it up, right?
Yeah.
And keep it on the infield.
See the replay. I wonder if this camera angle will get it to us.
Yeah,
see how he's playing right on the lip of that grass?
I do see that, and I'm surprised with Moises at second base. You'd think he'd play a little back so he could see Moises out of the corner of his eye just in case Marco tried to take third. But runners at the corners, 1 down for James Strom. I think if he backs up a little bit, maybe he doesn't make the out, but at least blocks the ball up and doesn't allow Marco to get to third base.
So, again, we've talked about it all day today and yesterday as well. The Lightning have gotten a plethora of men on base. Just how will they fare with, you know, now a runner in scoring position, but a good scoring chance here with guys on first and third and just one out.
Last inning, the Lightning had runners at second and third, one down, and were unable to score a run. Now runners at the corners, one down, called strike just there to James Strom. It was a strikeout by Jenkins, and then that line out by Charlie Keller. Hit it well, but Kai Lewin stole an extra base hit.
It looked like a pretty generous strike call there. May have been a little off the plate.
Definitely. Or no, I was looking at the one before. Have not seen the replay of that one yet.
I think it's going to be a little closer, but still potentially off the plate, just a tad.
Snyder at first, Moises at third base. Snyder goes, the pitch swung on and missed, the throw down to second, and they've got Snyder in a rundown. Here comes Moises, the throw home, he is safe! Played perfectly by the runners. Snyder was basically putting himself into a rundown for Moises to be able to score. I think the Lightning were caught off guard a little bit that throw was actually made it down to second base. You would think that the Diamond Dogs would cut it off and see if Moises would take the bait and go home, and they'd be able to throw a strike there. But it's 2-0. The Lightning lead it.
A really good deke move there by the runner on first, Snyder. He was dead to rights on the throw, and the second baseman, Entrikin, was right there to apply the tag, but he put on the brakes. And once he was in a rundown, the runner from third, Moises, decided to take off. It was a good throw, too. Catcher Collado did appear to field it cleanly, but Moises just barely avoided the tag.
Again, Moises not sliding. Didn't hurt him on that play, but you would like to see him at least maybe try to maneuver around the throw a little better.
And I think he's a guy who doesn't really like to slide, because we saw that same instance when he was on second, when he got back picked.
Yeah, 2-2. James Strom is retired on a swinging strikeout. But just a very interesting play. I think Reed Snyder was shocked that the Diamond Dogs actually threw the ball down to second. Usually teams will either not throw it down and let you take second base, or they'll cut it off and try to bait Moises at third into going home. But they tried to get the out, and they were a step short of getting Reed Snyder at second while holding Moises on at third base. And that would have been a huge blunder if that happened for Leesburg. Called strike onto Trey Kraft. Now a 2-0 lead. I don't even know how you begin to score that. A delayed steal by Snyder. He heads to second base. He is safe. So now the Lightning wreaking havoc on the base paths, and they've got another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, certainly starting to up the aggression a little bit on the base paths as Snyder ultimately gets to second.
So actually the way that was scored is that Moises stole home. That's
really?
The only way to score it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Of course, if you're at home, you know that technically didn't happen the way it sounds. 1-1 misses off the plate, but in baseball terms, Moises did steal home. Trey Kraft with a 2-1 count. Next one just barely misses off the plate. The Lightning do have a lefty throwing in their bullpen. I think it's Ethan Barrett. We'll see if Bertoft gets a chance to come out in the fifth inning, but likely will be done for the night. Hitters count to Trey Kraft. Here it is. Misses upstairs. And Trey Kraft works a walk, and that continues for him. His on-base percentage just ridiculous. 491 coming into this game, now tied with Moises one under Ryan Jenkins, who has 19 walks. That was Trey Kraft's 18th free bag this season.
As head coach Tim Newland walks out to the mound, I don't think Rocky will be done just now, but this may be his last inning of work as well, up to 74 pitches. So we'd like to see him get through 4. I mean, he's been working hard through those 4 innings. Dealt with traffic really in the last 3 innings.
believe Bertoft is around 50 to 60 pitches, and usually don't see Lightning pitchers going past that. So we will see if Ethan Barrett gets a call, especially if this inning continues. Bertoft will have been sitting for a long time, likely won't want to throw him back out there. And, you know, this is nothing against Bertoft, but a guy that doesn't have the strongest arm, letting him see the batters for a third time might be troublesome. But TJ, he will be facing, if he does come out, 5, 7, and 8 for just the second time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more of an encouraging sign to send him back out there. But then again, what will trump the other? Is it pitch counts, or is it the fact that will be facing these guys for just the second time around, not the third time? So we'll see what Coach Billings wants to do. Then again, Ethan Barrett's been warming up this whole inning, and you don't want him to sit and get cold for Bertoft to get another inning. But back to the present. First pitch is hit to the opposite field. It's down for a base hit. Reed Snyder's going to come around. Here comes the throw. He is safe. 3-0 Lightning lead. An RBI base knock from Ledger Pleasant. And it's runners at the corners, 2 down yet again.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Pleasant. Just works the ball the other way. Kind of a little knuckler off the bat, but there was no one, or a big hole, I should say, between first and second base, and the Lightning bat starting to come alive a little bit here in the 4th inning. That's their 3rd hit of the inning. And the lineup turns over once again.
The batter now, Eli Thurman. First RBI for the Lightning. Remember, their first run scored via an error. That was Cole Bolin who raced home, and then it was a stolen base, steal of home by Moises. And that one gets away. Trey Kraft thought about going home, but it actually bounced off of Eli Thurman, I believe, and kept it from ricocheting towards the grass. And if it did, Trey Kraft likely would have scored. So Eli Thurman, unfortunately, disrupts that from happening.
Really big backstop here at Leesburg. So if something were to get by the catcher, Collado, I have to think the runners could advance.
1-1, hit off the end of the bat. Intrican fields it, and he makes the throw just in time to get Eli Thurman racing down the first baseline. But the Lightning pick up 2 runs on 3 hits, and we send us to the top half of the 5th inning. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Lightning, and look who's back out there. Brian Bertoft trying to get through 5. We'll be back with you shortly. Top 5, now a 3-0 lead for the Lightning. A lot of success, starting with Moises, a single, and he advanced on an error. He would eventually come around and steal home. I think that might have been a design play where Reed Snyder, and this did happen, if he thinks that he can't make it to second, he's supposed to get himself in a rundown to allow Moises the option to come home. That's exactly what happened. Ledger Pleasant had an RBI single, and that's where we stand. 3-0 lead as Joel Collado stands in.
Yeah, and again, that slider from Bertov has been really effective in the zone. And it's not a hard pitch. So probably, kind of messes with the hitter's timing. And especially early in the count, they just let it go right by, and it ends up being a strike.
1-1 from Bertoft. It misses.
Close pitch there.
Trey Kraft also walked, which extended the inning, and he's been doing such a great job of extending the inning. May not have a big pop in his bat, but he does such a good job of taking every at-bat, not taking every at-bat for granted, and now 18 walks, 15 runs scored, and just always finding himself on the base pass. And same thing goes with Nick Wroblewski, who also has a flurry of walks. And Bertoft gets a swing and a miss from Joel Collado. One down here as he's trying to make it through 5. And
yeah, Bertov starting to have the strikeout pitch working. That's back-to-back strikeouts dating back to last inning. But again, up to 5 on the night. And as you said, if he were to get through 5, he would put himself in position nicely to earn a win as well. And the Diamond Dogs just have 2 hits on the night.
I'm almost positive no starting pitcher for the Lightning has gone 5 innings. And he starts Espiat with a first pitch strike. He's 0 for 1. But going back to Wroblewski, all 3 of the catchers have done a great job all year. And actually ran into Wroblewski's dad. And he had some nice words for me on the broadcast. So appreciate the Wroblewski family for checking in. As this one's popped up, foul ground. James Strom giving it chase. So is Trey Kraft. And they run out of real estate. But super nice guy. Super young. And
really?
He was telling me he's got a kid going to medical school. And I looked him up and down. I was like, there is absolutely no way that you got a son like Wroblewski who's been a veteran player for Lightning and a kid in medical school. It's just crazy. Can you believe? Well, actually, I was shocked at first, but then I thought, well, most people wouldn't expect that I'm actually a step uncle. Call
Are
myself
you?
a stunkle. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got a couple stephews, Ari and Julian.
Some stephews.
Yeah, Ari and Julian listening tonight.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to those guys.
Can you, hold on real quick, just explain to me how that is? So it would be
My
your
stepsister's kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your stepsister is a little older then.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so
Wow,
shout out to those guys watching.
congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. My stephews, of course. Great guys. 0-2, here it is. Ground ball out to Reed Snyder on a couple hops. Makes the peg to first, 2 down.
And I was just going to say, Vic, real quick, looks like the Diamond Dogs are, I guess, taking a negative page out of the Lightning's book yesterday because they don't have a runner that has advanced to third base yet this game. Their farthest runner was Odor. Yeah, he just got to second back in the third. So, maybe the Leesburg Lightning on the, again, still a lot of game left, but potentially pitching a shutout of their own.
And 3 errors now for the Diamond Dogs, and a couple of them have resulted in runs. Next one misses outside. And yes, if you're asking at home, I did make up Stephew and Stunkel. First one, actually, to use those.
Yeah. I wonder if you looked that up in the Urban Dictionary, what
Nope.
would come up. No?
Not at all. That's all me. 1-0 misses upstairs. So after the error by Odor, Moises did score, and so did Snyder. So now all 3 errors have resulted in runs scored. No, excuse me.
Except for the one on
Boaz,
yeah.
2 for 3. Swing and a miss. So 2 for 3, but 3 errors still, and just 1 RBI for the Lightning. So it is almost a mirror image of what we saw last night, just 2 teams flip-flop.
And I really am, kind of mesmerized by this Bertov off-speed pitch. He's able to be so effective with it.
Gets a 1-hopper out to Jenkins at second, and James Strom squeezes the leather. Brian Bertoft is through 5 innings of shutout baseball, folks. We hope to see him another inning, but if that's it for Bertoft, what a marvelous start for that young man. 3-0 as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom half of the 5th inning, Newt Rocky's night is over. Final line on him: 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he gives way for Aiden Tran, one of the lone lefties out of the bullpen for the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah, I think Newt Rocky pitched pretty well today. A couple of, maybe defensive mishaps led to a couple of runs, but for Aiden Tran, he was actually acquired via trade from the DeLand Suns, so this is just his 3rd appearance with the Diamond Dogs. Like, the first 2 came as a starting pitcher, but has pitched 6 innings thus far, 6 strikeouts, but 12 walks in those 6 innings. So has good stuff, but needs to limit the free passes.
Here's Ari, the first batter up, who takes a healthy cut at that and misses every stitch of it. Wind's picked up a little bit, blowing right to left, and Old Glory waving in that big breeze. Be a tough matchup for Irizarry and Keller in this inning with the lefty on the hill. 0-1, nice breaking ball. 0-2 is the count.
Yeah, so Tran, like I said, does have really effective stuff, just, has to get in the zone with it. Kind of features that tall lefty delivery.
0-2 yanks that pitch outside.
Tran out of University of Indianapolis, 6-foot sophomore.
Another quick inning for Bertoft in that top half, just 14 pitches. 1-2. A bouncer, and it's off the glove of Velez. And safe at first is Irizarry. Another error by Velez. That's the 3rd one from him tonight.
Yeah, and that ball was smoked. Kind of got down on a knee, but it ends up bobbling off his glove. And Vic, it obviously hasn't really troubled the Leesburg players, because I know they're used to it, but when I talk with these guys before the game, it's a much different infield than playing at Rollins, which is level and turf. The guys say that this infield is a little uneven, which makes for it to be difficult to have some reads off that grass. So not sure if that's maybe the case for Velez, but I've had a couple of guys be pretty excited that they're not actually playing the infield.
Jenkins is the batter. Irizarry goes. The pitch is way outside. The throw down is late. Irizarry has a stolen bag. And now a runner at scoring position. Nobody out for Ryan Jenkins. And it was pretty hard hit, but it did take a couple of bounces. And I think if it was just one bounce, really sharp ground ball, it probably would have gone down as a hit. But I think error is the right call. It's just a play that he probably has to make, or at least try to block up right in front of him.
Absolutely.
1-1, that bounces away from Collado. He can't find it. Aiden Tran helps him out, and he picks up the baseball. Irizarry races into third base to a stolen bag, and now a wild pitch has him standing 90 feet away.
Yeah, and what should have been out number 1 turns into a runner on third for Leesburg and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Again, Leesburg looking to add some insurance. Again, already up 3-0, but certainly would like to add more.
Looks like Diamond Dogs confused on if they should be infield in or not. They're not, at least on the first pitch, or excuse me, the 2-1 pitch, which misses outside, 3-1. So
yeah, so now they creep in a little bit, actually, all the way in.
You see Intrican motioning towards his dugout, just confused on where to play, and they are going to be shallow now. 3-1 pitch. That one gets away from Collado. Irizarry going to jog home. It's a 4-0 lead for the Lightning. And it's a base on balls for Ryan Jenkins, so he's aboard at first base. Still nobody out. And Irizarry goes first to home without a base hit or any ball in play.
Yeah.
Stolen bag and back-to-back wild pitches.
Next up for the Lightning, number 17, Charlie Keller.
And yeah, just as I had mentioned, the control for Tran just a little bit erratic.
Keller, with some bad luck in his last at-bat, lined out to Kyla Wynn in right field, which which was a great grab, a diving one at that, and it took away an extra base hit and 2 RBIs for Charlie Keller. See if he can get this one past, and it looks like Jenkins now might be in a run down. They throw to second base, and the tag is applied. It's Velez after the throw from Ben Barrow to get Ryan Jenkins, who left a little bit too early, and the lefty Aiden Tran provided a strike to first. It's going to be a 1-3-6 put out to get Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah, and a nice pickoff move there by Tran. Just disguised it nicely as Jenkins was taken off with, you know, the first leg movement of Tran, and Tran was able to just deliver over to Barrow, who threw a nice strike over to second base for out number 1.
So that clears the bases now. And good to see Ryan Jenkins, once he knew that the throw, or it wasn't being pitched towards home and it was coming towards first, he dropped his head and took off towards second. That's the best thing you could do. You're forcing Ben Barrow and the Diamond Dogs to make a perfect throw and catch to get him out, and that's exactly what happened. But a lot of times we see that not happen. Check swing, they'll appeal. Charlie Keller did not go.
So I'd like to see Tran make a good pitch here. He's got Keller down to 2 strikes. Does have that put away type stuff.
2-2 to Keller. That one misses, and it'll be a full count. Long at bat to the extra hitter for the Lightning. Payoff pitch is hit shallowly into center field. Out goes Velez. He'll make the grab for out number 2, and he'll bring up Cole Bolin.
Yeah, so the first time we'll see Bolin. First time we'll see Bolin from the right side as the pitcher's a lefty.
And I mentioned earlier that he actually fares better against lefty pitchers, 3 for 11. Bolin a ground out back in the 4th, and in his first at bat, a double down the third baseline. That was an opposite field double. 1-0 misses from Tran. This game runs spread out. 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, and then 1 here in the 5th. Used to seeing the Lightning scoring in bunches and just a couple of innings, but here scoring in 3 of the 5 innings so far, and we're not done with the 5th. 3-0 count to Cole Bolin. Tran still struggling with his command. And he finds a strike zone there.
And just taking a look at the Florida League schedule, well, DeLand was up really big on Winter Garden, 9-0. The game between Sanford and Orlando, I presume, is being suspended, so Leesburg will certainly pick up a half game here if they were to hold on. And then, of course, here, Leesburg leads 4-0.
That'll be a walk to Cole Bolin. It'll put him at first with Marco Mueces coming to the dish. Mueces with that single back last inning. Eventually came around to score. Technically stole home. Don't see that all too often. High and tight to him for the first pitch. 5 walks given up by the Diamond Dogs so far. Bertoft has just 1. One 0 on the way. Beautiful breaking ball. That falls in there for a strike. Next offering, another called strike by Aiden Tran.
Yeah, and if I was Tran, I would continue to live there on the outside part of the plate, especially against the lefty Moises.
I'll throw back to first. Cole Bullen was dancing around, trying to disrupt Aiden Tran. Righty's warming up in the bullpen for the Diamond Dogs. Still a reliever up in the Lightning bullpen as well. Next pitch bounces away from Collado. That'll be another wild pitch as Cole Bullen advances 90 feet.
So as I mentioned, when Tran got in the game, just a little erratic with his command at times, and it's certainly showing here. I believe that's what his third or fourth wild pitch.
Third.
Of this inning alone. He already has 2 walks.
Yeah, Lightning scored this inning off of a wild pitch, so it's been Aiden trying to get himself into trouble. Deuce's wild pitch, here it is. That's a called strike 3 to Marco Moises on the inner half, and the Lightning pick up a run here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it'll send us to the 6th, now a 4-0 lead. Into the 6th inning. The night is over for Brian Bertoft, and he was just amazing. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. TJ, I think it's safe to say the Diamond Dogs bats got Bertoft here tonight, and that's what they've been saying. And he gives way to Ethan Barrett, the lefty. Barrett so far this year, 4.66 ERA, similar to Bertoft's coming into this game, which will be way lower after his 5 shutout innings. 2-3 on the year. First pitch he throws is a foul ball by the batter, Pierce Gladding, the extra hitter. Going back to Barrett, 2-3. 10 appearances, 3 have been starts, the rest out of the bullpen. 19 1/3, that is the most innings pitched by any Lightning pitcher. 16 hits, 10 earned runs, 12 walks, 23 strikeouts. And going back to Bertoft, he just did a great job. Strikeout every inning. It was a strikeout every inning, 1 every inning, and besides that, just drawing weak contact. The last 2 frames faced the minimum in a quick 1-2-3, 9-pitch inning, then a 14-pitch inning as Pierce Gladding just gets a piece of that, fouls it away.
The Diamond Dogs bats running a little cold in the last couple of innings. As you said, they've only brought up the minimum to the plate, but again, I was really impressed with Bertoft. Not a guy who's going to really overpower you with velocity, but has a great off-speed pitch and is able to throw it for strikes, which is a big thing, and also able to induce soft contact whenever he is, I guess, not striking batters out. But yeah, now Gladding deals with a 1-2. He grounded out to the pitcher his first at-bat.
So Barrett's 11th appearance, that is also Blake Titmore. Now he's tied with Titmore, but he does have more innings than Titmore just because he started 3 games. 2-2 count. Barrett's last time out was a start back on July the 6th against Winter Garden. Gave up 2 runs in 3 innings, 2 hits as well. And he gets a strikeout of Pierce Gladding, who swings right through that one. 1 down. That'll bring up Eric Intrican, the second baseman. Barrett, the lefty, gonna have to face a boatload of righty batters. Everyone besides Kai Lewin is a righty batter. Intrican struck out in his lone at bat back in the 3rd. 1-0 off his knuckles, a ground ball towards second. Jenkins fields and gets out number 2. Really just let the ball kind of get to him, so that was pretty nifty. 4-3 put out and sends us back to the top of the order. Roberto Odor, appreciate you joining us from wherever you are on Varsity Sports Nation. Got all jumbled up there for a second. Odor, 1 for 2, a base hit in the 3rd and stole a bag. He's the only Diamond Dog to reach second base in this ball game. Bertolf did a great job of that.
Strikeouts starting to pile up a little bit for Winter Park. As I mentioned in the open, they're averaging near 10 a game and are already at 6 here in the 6th.
1-0 fouled out of play.
Baseball, you know, it's hard, obviously, and as we've seen today and as we saw yesterday for the advantage for Winter Park is, you know, when you put the ball in play, good things can happen.
1-1, found the outside part of the plate. Nice breaking ball by Ethan Barrett. I'd like to give a shout out back home. A couple of my boys listening right now. 4 of them actually listening right now up in Atlanta.
Wow, a lot of viewers tonight.
Yeah, 1-2 right to Reed Snyder. Look what I found. 1-2-3 frame from Ethan Barrett. He picks up right where Bertolf left off, and that sends us to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Nothing doing for the Diamond Dogs, and the Lightning trying to add on to their 4-0 lead when we come back. DJ French, Vic Maslia with you here. Bottom half of the 6th inning. After a great play at third base, Reed Snyder leads us off, and a new pitcher on. It's Justin Webster.
Yeah, so Aiden Tran's day is done after just pitching an inning. Gave up a run. It was not earned, though. Did strike out a batter, walk 2. For Webster, the bugaboo for him has been the walks. He's a tall righty out of Embry-Riddle. 0-2 record with the Diamond Dogs again. He was another player acquired from the Suns. 16 walks in just 9 1/3 innings to go along with 9 strikeouts. So his issue is throwing strikes, and Vic, it is missing inside 2 righties is where he seems to lack control.
I believe he just did that.
Yeah, see if he can get it together here, kind of potentially hold this Leesburg offense to just 4 runs. But also, shout out ATL, man. I'm, from that area as well. So
Yeah.
it's my home,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though we're 2 guys, a little far from home.
Right. It's all right. I mean, you're outside the perimeter, but I won't hold it against you for sure. 1-1.
Yeah, well, I hear, it's actually better to be outside the perimeter, a little less crime rate and things like that. But
Sure.
no, you're in a very sound area, I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
Nah, it's all right. 1-2 count for Reed Snyder. Webster ahead. Ooh, and he plunks him. You weren't kidding about missing inside to righties.
Yeah,
He missed so far it hit Reed Snyder.
I'm telling you, and Vic, the only thing is you don't get to enjoy the 9th wonder of the world, Lake Lanier, as I get to.
Oh.
So that is one positive.
You like Lake Lanier? What about all those horror stories, man? That's
I mean, I
crazy.
kind of grew up there, so. But I do believe it's a little weird, right?
You think it's an old
I
city
mean,
under there?
Yeah, it's just. I just don't think people should get hurt, and by hurt I mean death. That often,
I'm sorry. That's the way you said that.
I know, probably not the way to put it, but like, it's serious, People.
Yeah, no,
really
it is.
do just apparently just go under there.
James Strom, the batter. First pitch misses outside to him, and not the best team, or not a good team at all to run into free pass issues with, and lack of command issues, because the Lightning will take advantage. Ton of guys with a ton of walks for the Lightning, and they're right behind the Rats in terms of free passes. And I'll give you that exact number in just a moment, as I have that right in front of me. So it's Sanford with 165 walks, Leesburg with 172. So actually now the Lightning, or excuse me, I think it was always the Lightning leading in free passes. Might have gone back and forth a little bit. 2-0. Flown to left field. Boyesen is there. He ranges over to make the grab for out number 1. Actually, I do think that number has fluctuated a little bit. I think Sanford at one point was leading in terms of walks, and the Lightning were behind them. So I think the rain delays for the Rats have maybe changed those numbers around a little bit. But gosh, 172 walks. The lowest number of free passes is DeLand. They draw just 114. So just a huge uptick for the Lightning, and they'll take advantage and they'll make you pay.
Yeah, and that's 172 walks in 26 games played, 25 games played. That's about 6.5 walks per game, give or take, and that's a lot of free passes. It's almost a base runner an inning.
I mean, now we're probably going to get closer to 180 after tonight's ball game. Already 6 walks. 1-2, gets away from Collado yet again. Reed Snyder into second base, and another miscue.
I would like to at least see the replay on this. I don't know. It should be a pass ball there.
Yep. Our statistician beside me agrees. Good catch on that one. I just assumed after 3 wild pitches in the last inning that would also go down as one, but it will be called a pass ball.
At some point, you do have to obviously give the catcher an error at some point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That didn't
100%.
even hit the dirt. That was just off his glove. So you got better eyes than I do.
It's even kind of hard to see through this screen here.
Two 2-1 count to Trey Kraft. Walked back in the 4th inning. Now 18 free passes for him. It's just an outstanding number for a guy that doesn't play every day. Same thing with Wroblewski, who has 15.
Yeah, it just goes back to what you were saying about this team's discipline. You know, they know how to work the count and working in their favor.
2-1, doesn't get too far away from Collado this time. Reed Snyder stays put, and hopefully Wroblewski can get a chance to play in this game. I mentioned I saw his dad earlier, and you know, usually the Lightning elect to have 2 catchers in the lineup. One will extra hit, and one will obviously be behind home plate catching, and Wroblewski not getting the start tonight because he did catch in yesterday's game. So would like to see him come in later, play in front of his pops. Oh, that's always great. 3-1 bouncer out to Velez. He was positioned perfectly, and he makes the peg to first in time, 2 down. If he's not holding on Snyder, that ball might have crept up the middle.
Absolutely.
So Ledger Pleasant will bat, coming off of an RBI single back in the 4th inning. That is the only RBI for the Lightning in today's game. Very similar to the Diamond Dogs in yesterday's game. They had no RBIs really at all. No, they had 1 RBI. It was Collado. But all of those runs unearned for the Lightning pitching staff. As
Really nasty pitch there by Webster. Kind of caused Ledger Pleasant to sword at that one.
Thurman, Irizarry, Jenkins, all with free passes. Oh, 1 fly ball to left field. Boyson coming over. That one is just foul. Oh, boy. And he's heading into second base. I don't think the fans caught wind of it yet, but that is a foul ball, just barely. And it would have been another RBI knock for Ledger Pleasant.
Yeah, it wasn't hit super hard, but certainly right in the right area. And yeah, just missed that foul line by just a couple of inches. But nonetheless, it's no 2 count here to Pleasant as Webster looks to get out of this inning without any damage done after hitting the leadoff man Snyder.
So still, or now an 0-2 count to Ledger Pleasant. He's in a hole with another run standing 90 feet away, and he waves and misses at that. A nasty breaking ball from Justin Webster takes care of the Lightning. They throw up a goose egg for the first time since the 3rd inning, and that sends us to the 7th here in Leesburg, still a 4-0 lead for the Lightning. Welcome back, Ethan Barrett back out on the hill. A couple of defensive changes for the Lightning. Ryan Jenkins moves from 2nd to 3rd and replaces Reed Snyder. Moving to 2nd in his place is TJ Sokras. So not sure why the defensive change at all. You know that earlier, just a couple weeks ago, as this one is flown into right field, Moises drifts back, a little bit more, and he makes the grab for out number 1. A couple weeks ago, Reed Snyder was struggling with arm soreness. He's got a really strong arm and makes a lot of great throws from third base, so hopefully it's not his arm getting tired, and that's why Jenkins is in the game now. Just wish the best for him. Obviously made a great grab to end the last inning to get Odor, and then was hit by the pitch. So actually, hopefully it's not the hit by the pitch, because he did run the bases after and advanced all the way to third. Now squaring to bunt is Luis Rivero. He pulls it back, though.
And in other news, maybe you care, I hope so, but Cal Raleigh has 2 homers tonight.
1-0, ground ball. Great stop by Pleasant at short. He gets up, but he won't have a play. That's going to go down as a base hit. Tough play for Ledger Pleasant, but yeah, Cal Raleigh, I do care.
38 homers
before the All-Star break.
Before the break is crazy. I have to think that's some sort of record. I know he was closing in on maybe it's most homers ever before the break. I think it might be. I know no one's reached 40 before the break before, but 38 that's impressive.
And they
man.
haven't crossed 82 games yet.
Yeah, or
81, excuse me.
He really should be an MVP. Obviously, he's an MVP candidate, but he really should be the front runner. I mean,
I think
especially
he
in
is,
Seattle
right?
with, well, you know, they
Judge
and
yeah.
you know, they love Judge so much, which Judge is amazing.
And he hits for average, too.
But, I mean, Raleigh is just straight up putting that team on his back. There's not much offensive production. But, yeah, that single for Rivero gives him his second hit of the night.
Ben Barrow squared again, pulled it back. It's a called strike, as Jenkins at third now was creeping up on him. Diamond Dogs trying to just play some small ball. Haven't had a runner in scoring position since the third. That was Odor with a stolen bag. We'll see if he squares. No, he won't. It's an 0-2 count. Barrett misses away with that breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ben Barrow, the first baseman, 0 for 2. Double play would be beautiful. That's the one thing missing from my scorebook here for the Lightning defense. 1-2, that gets away from Trey Kraft, and right on cue spoils the double play opportunity, really.
But they really have done everything right. Again, Rivera advances to second there, but just the second time the Diamond Dogs have a base runner that's advanced to second. Other than that, it's a really clean score sheet.
So wild pitch for Barrett. Obviously, first wild pitch of the game for the Lightning pitching staff. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Barrow. Foul tipped, and Kraft couldn't glove it. So the at-bat will continue. Two-two offering. Tapped out to second base. This will move the runner over. Socorros has 1 play, and he makes it 2 down.
Yeah, so the runner does advance. So the first time the Diamond Dogs get a runner on third.
And it comes all the way in the 7th inning. Their first run standing 90 feet away. And now at 10 p.m. here, so 2 hours game time. And pretty interesting. I feel like it'd go a little bit quicker considering low-scoring game and quick innings. Would think it'd be closer to an hour and a half right now with 3 innings left to be played. Still a very quick ball game, but yeah.
Yeah, don't go talking too much about the time now.
Gosh, here we go. I mean,
no, things are moving pretty swiftly, especially after the delay, which is what you want to see.
1-0. And this is outside. With the rain delays and everything and the lightning, I feel like this summer really been trying to ride that line of not trying to jinx things and, you know, also trying to will things into existence. And like last night, you were almost willing the Lightning to score a run to break up the shutout.
Well, you know, I feel like it works both ways.
But with your luck, it goes against you.
Maybe I mean, obviously there's a such thing as a jinx. I don't know. But at the same breath, you can will things into existence as well. Just like the strikeouts yesterday.
Right.
But
Yeah, you did.
But again, that's, you know, obviously just going to happen as the game goes on. Obviously, they're probably not going to go longer than 5 innings without a strikeout. So, you know, you talk about it enough and eventually it will happen.
Boyson had a 3-0 green light, and he fouls that one away. Not sure if that was going to be ball 4 or not, but you think at this rate he'd keep the bat on his shoulder with a 3-0 count.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're down 4-0.
Sure.
See a good pitch, maybe that you can drive.
3-1, ground ball towards third, but it's foul. Would have been a tough play for Jenkins deep in the hole at third. It would have probably been a strike looking at the replay now. And I think a good pitch to swing on, actually, so I'll agree with you. Righty-lefty matchup in favor of the batter, Tyler Boyson, 0 for 2. Fly out and a strikeout. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. That one's in the dirt. Trey Kraft will throw to first, and Ethan Barrett works around a one-out base knock. He sends us to the stretch. A 4-0 lead for the Lightning as Barrett's fired up as he walks off the mound. Welcome back. We started with the leadoff batter, Eli Thurman. Back to the top of the order we go. He is 0 for 2 with a walk back in the third. Besides that, a couple ground outs. Looking for his first base hit of the night as he fouls that one out of play. Good job by Ethan Barrett. Was down 3-0 to Tyler Boyson and came back and got a swinging strikeout to end the inning. And Lightning haven't faced more than 4 batters in a single inning tonight.
And yeah, Webster, like he's still out there for a second inning of work. Be good to see him post another scoreless inning.
He's using that breaking ball very well. It's almost like a sweeper. Not as much horizontal break as I'd say Bertoff's was, but it's got a lot of horizontal movement. And he's ahead 0-2 to Eli Thurman. Fouled away again. Crowd has dwindled down here, but still very packed at the pad. Fans sticking it out despite an hour rain delay, and we are just at about 2 hours, 5 minutes since first pitch. Thurman still in an 0-2 hole. Webster delivers, and that almost hit him.
Yeah, so no walks for Webster in that first inning that he was out there. Did have the hit by pitch, but no walks is a welcome sign. Was able to get in the zone. Deuce. A couple balls in play.
1-2. Missed upstairs. I can't remember the last time, and this is not speaking to pitching struggles for the Lightning, but just the fact that Coach Billings likes to use a lot of pitchers. Can't remember the last time that the Lightning have used just 2 pitchers going into the 8th inning now.
Yeah,
the next time it'll be up, it'll be the 8th.
And it's like we said, you know, they have a, 6 game in a row stretch, or 6 days in a row playing a game stretch.
Right,
so
yeah.
would like to, you know, get some length out of these guys, and then, you know, maybe you're able to use Berthoff, you know, again in a couple of days, and the same thing for Ethan Barrett.
Payoff pitch to Thurman. That's nowhere near, and after getting down 0-2, Thurman puts together a great at-bat and draws another walk. That's his second free pass of the night and brings up Irizarry. There is some action in the Lightning bullpen, so we'll see if Barrett goes out for a 3rd inning. Usually relievers for the Lightning haven't gone more than 2 innings. But we've seen it done before, and obviously can be done again. This, like you said, it would really save the bullpen. Not that they're overused at all. I mean, really just pitch an inning or 2 max, but it would save them the trouble of having to work extra tonight and can focus on the next game tomorrow. We've got a makeup game on Sunday at 5 p.m. here at the Pat, and then 2 more games here at Pat Thomas Stadium on Monday and Tuesday. Called strike. And
yeah, and those games will certainly be very telling for the Lightning, just depending on how they do during that stretch.
It'll actually be Winter Park that's here on Tuesday. Sanford's here on Monday. So that's just a one-off series, 1 game versus Winter Park and 1 game versus Sanford. Thurman goes. The pitch is outside. The throw down is not in time. A really good throw by Collado is placed right on the money, but Eli Thurman beats out the wrap, and another stolen base for the Lightning. On the season, Thurman now is 11 for 12, and he's got the most stolen bases. Trey Kraft right behind him with 10. He does not have one tonight, so Thurman, solo lead of stolen bases for the Lightning, and, well, that's what the leadoff batter should be doing, so he's doing his job. He goes again, 2 1s in the dirt. Here's the throw. He is safe. Thurman back-to-back stolen bases, and he's all the way at 3rd base, still nobody out.
Yeah, talk about willing yourself 90 feet closer. Back-to-back stolen bases, and no hesitation on that one. He got a great jump. Ball was in the dirt just a little bit, and he has 2 stolen bases off a walk.
Yeah, and he didn't even slide on that, still was safe. And he was no hesitation, ready to go for 3rd, and nobody was going to stop him. And even if that was a better pitch from Webster, I think that Thurman's probably in there safely. Base hit into center field. Thurman scores a 5-0 lead for the Lightning. Second RBI of the game, and it's provided by Irizarry. Ledger Pleasant has the other one, and that's really a good sign to see, because the Lightning, yes, taking advantage of the Diamond Dogs' mistakes, 4 errors, but now getting 2 RBIs, so at least putting some runs across the board on their own accord. So Ryan Jenkins will bat. Irizarry at first. We'll see if he's in motion. He is not. First pitch misses low and away. Webster struggling with the command, and it's more of a reason why these Lightning runners like Thurman have been stealing on him, is because he can't really locate. And
he's also pretty long to the plate as well.
Right.
He has a pretty high leg kick. You know, let's just see a stretch a little bit shorter.
See maybe a slide step. There he,
That was a little
yeah,
better.
That was a slide step from him to keep Irizarry honest at first. But that stolen base to third, going to third for Eli Thurman, it was a low and outside pitch, and Collado almost had to pick it off the ground and then deliver a strike towards third. 1-1's fouled away. Jenkins so far 0 for 2 with a walk back in the 5th inning. Left a little too early trying to steal second and was put out, a 1-3-6. Good play by the Diamond Dogs there. Saved another potential run. 1-2. Yanked another fastball on the outside part of the plate. After Jenkins, it'll be Charlie Keller, who's 0 for 3, still searching for his first base hit. Still nobody out. 2-2 count. Irizarry a healthy lead at first. They'll throw back over there. I think me and Webster had the same idea. Wondering if Irizarry did as well. Webster set at the belt. Takes a look at Irizarry. He goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down is way too high. And Irizarry's in there safely, but it will be a strikeout for Ryan Jenkins. 1 down as Irizarry moves into scoring position. 3 stolen bases in the inning.
Headed to the plate for the Lightning, number 17, Charlie Keller.
And by my count, it's 5 total stolen bases.
That sounds about right. But it's been kind of in the later half of this game. I don't really see any on my scorecard before the 4th inning, in the middle of the 4th inning.
That's what I got too. Wait, where's Irizarry?
Well, did they?
They called him out. Wait,
Really
So
weird.
now there's
Maybe he
2
popped
outs.
up off the bag. I don't know.
I don't know
Is
how.
there a way you can go back on the replay?
Not anymore. We kind of already passed that. I guess so.
Yeah, I guess
I
we'll
have
find
no
out
idea
in
what
the
happened.
break.
Yeah.
Oh, interference.
Oh, so interference from Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah.
I guess as he was swinging and missing at the pitch that he kind of fell over the plate a little bit.
Yeah, that
and-
actually does check out now that I
You
think
remembering
about it.
back
Yeah.
to that now?
Well, I mean, obviously now that I know what actually happened, sure.
Okay, so 2 down, base is clear. Charlie Keller is the batter. Just interesting. They really didn't make a big note of it. Not that they necessarily need to, but
No, but I mean, at least looking back to the throw, you could tell Collado's throw was a little high. Maybe he had to throw over Jenkins. See, I kind of swung out of his shoes, fell over home plate, and
so it won't be another stolen bag. Still just 2 in the inning, both from Thurman. Hitters count to Keller, and he'll draw a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Cole Bolin. I gotta look back to see how I score. I'm pretty sure it's just BI, batter's interference.
Sounds
Oh,
about
actually it's INT, but that's not very specific, you know?
No, it's not.
Not at all. I'm gonna do BINT. So Keller aboard, Bolin is at the dish. A double back in the second is his lone base hit. First and only extra base hit for the Lightning tonight. Oh, 1 up and away from Webster. That was a big break, too. It would have been just 1 down and a runner still in scoring position for the Lightning, looking to add on. Cole Bullen hammers this one foul. That's going to be tough to find.
Yeah, it might be in that lake out there. It's Lake Harris. But I got here a little early after my long journey over here to Leesburg.
Yeah.
And I went and walked over to that lake, wanted to check it out. It's really, really pretty. What's so funny?
I just think it's funny, you know, you just sightseeing a little bit while you're
Well,
here.
I mean, yeah, like I got here at 5:30, a little kind of earlier than I anticipated. Our players weren't here. I think you were
can
here.
come and hang out with me.
Yeah, I
you
know,
It
I
was
know,
a full booth, though. There was some people up here.
But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to see what was out there because especially our president, Stefano, made a kind of a big stink about it being a really pretty lake. So I wanted to go check it out.
No, that's
Some
very
people
nice of you.
fishing, a lot of boats going out there. It was hot. Hot day here in Florida.
Deuce's wild pitch just misses off the plate. Yeah, I think the feels like was it above 100. It was like
sure.
102, and yeah, once I got to the ballpark, I went straight up to the booth and really haven't moved since. I mean, I might be glued to this seat, literally.
Well, you have such a good booth here, so I mean, yeah, why would you want to leave?
And good company.
Yep. Great company, as we were talking yesterday about it. It's the great stat man to your left, which I'm still shocked at that.
Yeah.
Leesburg record book is just PDFs, man. They're just incredible.
Cole Bullen will see a payoff pitch. Here it is, and that one nowhere near misses away. The inning continues.
And so the third walk of the inning for Webster after not walking anyone in the sixth. We're starting to see him kind of lose that command a little bit here, as the numbers would have suggested that I kind of brought up at the open of when he came in. Up to 19 walks and really just 11 innings. On the season, he has 17 innings pitched and 26 walks.
About to face Marco Moises with 2 on and 2 down. He is 1 for 3. Base hit back in the 4th, came around to score. Besides that, a strikeout and then a fielder's choice. One-0 from Webster. That finds the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keller standing at second. Bullen at first base. This game slowing down a lot here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Lightning have only plated just the 1 run.
Well, that's what happens when there's a lot of walks.
Hit the other way. That one is through. Charlie Keller rounds third. He's going to come around and score. Cole Bullen slides safely into third. Marco Moises with an RBI base knock. Six to 0, Lightning lead it, and they're not done yet. Runners at the corners, 2 down for Reed Snyder.
It might be a little bit of a 2-out rally brewing here. As that's the 3rd consecutive man to reach after that kind of funky play on the Jenkins strikeout, which caused for a batter's interference.
That ball hit really well by Moises and not hit too hard that, Charlie Keller couldn't score. Is that one nice? Some nice chin music for TJ Sokras in his first at-bat. Came in to replace Reed Snyder. Defensively, he replaced Ryan Jenkins, but Ryan Jenkins was the one to replace Reed Snyder. So a little flip-flopping around for Coach Billings. 1-0, bouncer towards third. Odor steps back, plays it on a hop, and a nice pick off the ground by Ben Barrow to get TJ Sokras for out number 3. Lightning pick up another couple of runs and make it a 6-0 lead thanks to RBI base hits from Marco Moises and Julian Irizarry. That sends us to the 8th inning, now a 6-0 lead. Into the 8th inning we go. Ethan Barrett is out. Steven Rojas is in. We'll give you the final line on Ethan Barrett, who is just really good in his 2 innings of relief. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts for him. And he gives way to the big righty, 6'1", 195, Steven Rojas out of Lutz, L-U-T-Z, Florida, and out of Pasco Hernando State College. I haven't seen him in a good bit. Gosh, last time he pitched was June 27th. That feels like forever ago. We'll give you his final,
or really like 3 weeks ago.
Right, I'll give you his season totals before I tell you about his last outing. 3.18 ERA, 1-0 in 4 appearances, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 walks, and 10 strikeouts. The walks have been a little bit of an issue. His last time out on the 27th, pitched 2 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, had 5 strikeouts though, and 2 1/3. And he's a big flamethrower. And we'll see how he fares against Joel Collado. First pitch called strike. It'll be Collado, Espaillat, and Lewin. And we got word that Espaillat took over for Odor at third base that last half inning. So I'm assuming that they're just swapping out extra hitter and third base roles for now. And we'll see if Odor bats, and he likely will, I believe. So it's just that change defensively. So charge that 5-3 put out to
quick 3-pitch strikeout there for
Espaillat.
Collado.
Yeah, excuse me. Steven Rojas takes care of Collado, no problem.
And in a 6-run game, Leesburg leading 6-0 here, it makes sense. Get Odor off his feet a little bit. Espaillat, who was extra hitting, can't play anywhere on the diamond, or anywhere on the infield besides first. So just giving him the opportunity.
He swings right through that one. He's 0-2, a fly out and a ground out.
Yeah, and Rojas coming in, throwing hard. And, yeah, I think Leesburg is going to adopt that strategy of just using 3 pitchers here, assuming Rojas can finish it off.
And he throws that breaking ball really hard, too. It almost has diagonal break, so a combination of horizontal and vertical, and a swing and a miss from Espaillat. Rojas wasting no time. He's quick, ready to go. 1-2, missed again. Boy, oh boy, that breaking ball started middle, and it ends in the middle of the left-handed batter's box. Absolutely disgusting. 2-2. Popped up and foul ground. James Strom coming over, so is Cole Bolin, and Bolin makes the grab. A tough one for any catcher to make, and he covered a lot of ground. I'd say about 20 yards there or so.
Yeah, and weird. It seemed like the route for James Strom would have been much quicker, but Bolin ranges way over.
I think that Bolin saw it a little bit better than Strom.
Sure.
I think Strom is deep in the hole like he is right now. So that's about almost even, but yeah, it's
a long way
both.
to have your catcher roam over for a catch like that. And to be able to track it as well. That's a good play by Bolin.
So 2 quick outs. Kai Lewin, the batter. 0-1-2 and misses upstairs. It's just the 3rd at bat for the Diamond Dogs hitters.
Yeah, pretty much, been the minimum. They only have 3 hits and a couple of walks, but that's it. Pretty sloppy line for Winter Park thus far. The game were to end in this fashion, no runs, just 3 hits. More errors than hits is not a good sign. Yeah, time running out for this Diamond Dogs squad. Again, the Land and Winter Garden game was postponed, but the Land was up way big, 9-0 in just like the 2nd or 3rd inning. So
that
I have to believe they'll hold on to that one once it gets resumed, which may be tomorrow.
Yeah. So it was 9-0, and a swing and a miss. Steven Rojas overpowering the Diamond Dogs. 2 strikeouts and a flyout. A quick 1-2-3 frame. He sends us to the bottom half of the 8th. Last chance for the Lightning to get some insurance. 6-0 lead when we come back. Bottom of the 8th, pinch hitter for the Lightning. It's going to be Grant Jordan to hit for James Strom. New pitcher on the mound, it's Eduardo Adrian for the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah, Adrian just making his, or only has a handful of outings. Did not give up a run. And I believe the 3 innings that he's pitched thus far did come here in Leesburg about a week ago. I do have that correct. Pitched 3 innings, just gave up 1 hit. Did walk 4 batters. But see if he can hold these Lightning hitters at bay here. He's out of Thomas University.
His 0-1 pitch is hit to center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Grant Jordan, pinch hit single. That's his 4th hit of the season. Still struggling at the plate. It is a very sure-handed glove, though, so you know when he's in the ball game, he might not give you as many base hits or power as you might want out of him, but he will be a sure-handed glove, and it's really important because he usually plays shortstop, which is obviously captain of the infield, one of the most important positions on the diamond. So, and that goes for a lot of guys, like Trey Kraft at the dish right now. We've touched on it before this game. He might not have a ton of base hits, and he might not have a ton of extra base hits. Actually has 3, which is a good bit. But the 17 walks, now 18 walks, and the 15 runs scored. Same thing goes with Wroblewski. He only has 6 runs scored, but he's walked 15 times, and at least is extending innings, putting himself on the base path, and causing trouble for opposing pitching staffs. And same thing with TJ Sokaros, and he might not be the biggest, loudest bat, but he obviously provides really good innings on the mound and is a sure-handed glove as well. He does have 7 RBIs in his 5 hits. So Sokaros, not a lot of base hits, but definitely makes them count with those 7 RBIs. Or excuse me, has 7 RBIs. I got that right. But it's just a great thing to see. And these guys that may not be performing on certain parts of the diamond, whether it's the plate or on the field, they make up for it in other ways. And that's all you can ask for if you're Coach Billings. You're not going to have 1 through 12 or 13 batters all hitting 270, 250 plus. Some of them has got to carry, some of the lower batting averages. But if those guys can make up for it in different ways, then that's all you really can ask for once again if you're head coach Billings, and he's gotten that out of his guys. Grant Jordan, healthy lead at first base. Next pitch to Trey Kraft, again off the end of the bat. More action in the Lightning bullpen. Close the line on Webster. 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. A lot of 2s. And a 2-2 count, misses away. Delayed steal by Grant Jordan. Great read. A dirt ball thrown by Adrian. Collado had to pick it off the ground, and by that time, Grant Jordan had a huge secondary and took second base.
Yeah, I was just browsing this huge record book. Really cool stuff there.
3-2, misses off the plate. Another walk for Trey Kraft. It's just unbelievable. He now is tied with Ryan Jenkins for walks. Excuse me. Jenkins had a walk back in the 5th inning, so still 1 shy. He's got 19. Jenkins has 20, but gosh.
They're going back and forth.
Right, for a guy that doesn't play every day being a catcher, and that is just unbelievable. He's got a tremendous eye.
I wonder if he's upset with, or at some point, kind of a little upset with the walks because he wants to hit.
Ledger Pleasant, the batter, called strike. Might be right, but also getting on base, helping the team out as much as he can. And he does have 8 hits and 37 at-bats and has 7 RBIs. So similar to TJ Sokaros, he's making his hits count and driving in runs when he does hit it into the outfield. 2 on, nobody out. Ledger Pleasant, an RBI single back in the 4th. That was the first RBI for the Lightning in this game. They now have 3. RBIs for Oasis and Irizarry, those both coming last inning. And really spread out scoring for Leesburg. Used to them scoring in bunches, maybe 2 or 3 times in a game. As Pleasant pops this one up on the infield, whose ball is it going to be? Ben Barrow, the first baseman, makes the grab, 1 down. But it was 1 run in the second, 2 in the fourth, a run in the fifth, and then 2 in the seventh. And Leesburg has a good chance here to add some more. Thurman 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Scored a run last inning. Also stole 2 bags. Stole second and third. And then Irizarry knocked him in with an RBI single. A crucial musket out for Adrian after Thurman. He's got Irizarry and Jenkins both having a good game tonight as that one's fouled back and hit something. Oh, the cook shed.
Yeah, it did look like it hit that concession area over there.
Look out, Victor. That's our fantastic chef on the grill, cooking up burgers.
Great name, too, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a great namesake. No balls, 2 strikes for Thurman. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string out from under Eli Thurman, and he gets out number 2. So after a single and a walk, gets a fly out and a strikeout. Makes it 2 down for Irizarry. He's reached twice from errors at short by Velez. See a guy usually reach twice on both on errors, both from the same guy. So that's a little interesting. Looking at some other games across the league, River Rat Snappers, that game was canceled. So if the Lightning can win tonight's ball game, they will be tied for second place with the Snappers, same record. Right now they just have one less win than the Snappers do, so they'd both be 16 and 11. Misses to Irizarry. Now a 3-0 count. Wind has died down.
Sorry, did that catch a lot in the mic? I'm sorry. I didn't think it would, but now I'm rethinking that.
3-0 called strike.
Just dealing with the sniffles a little bit.
It's all right. Happens.
I don't know if it was that Volcano Bay adventure we had, but it's certainly possible.
Man, the things you could catch in that lazy river or not so lazy river. Oh, God. 3-1. Misses outside for ball 4. Irizarry with a 2-out walk. It'll bring up Ryan Jenkins.
It's almost like the water is so clean that it's dirty, you know?
Right. No, it's there's like too many chemicals in it to make it clean. So I see Steven Rojas with his backpack on. I'm assuming that his night's done. Actually, he was just bringing it to the dugout, but still, it's a sign that he might be done for tonight and won't get his second inning. But the way things are going, he should be getting another inning. We will see. Bases full of Lightning. A storm is brewing, but 2 are down. And it's up to Jenkins to add some more insurance. Cold strike onto him, 1-1. Trey Kraft over there at second base, an important run. 1-1, up the middle, base hit! Scoring is Jordan. Here comes Trey Kraft. This ball game is over. Ryan Jenkins, 2 RBI singles, seals the deal, and the Lightning mercy rule the Diamond Dogs and give them a taste of their own medicine It's an 8-0 shutout. What a victory for Leesburg. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with the totals of tonight's ball game. Once again, final score 8-0, Lightning win it. Welcome back to Pat Thomas Stadium. Good news, Lightning win. Ryan Jenkins, 2 RBI single, gives Leesburg the win. And I won't call it a walk-off just because I don't believe that's a real walk-off, but technically a walk-off win for the Lightning. And I mentioned it, but it is a taste of their own medicine. The Lightning shut out the Diamond Dogs in a perfect game almost on the mound, giving up just 3 base hits. And they looked absolutely sharp. 9 hits, 8 runs on those 9 hits. TJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, we've got a rubber match on our hand for tomorrow, so that's always exciting. But, yeah, so now 2 shutouts after not being involved in any shutouts this season. Leesburg pitches one of their own after being shut out the night before. But, yeah, overall, you know, just things got a little bit out of hand there for the Winter Park pitchers there at the end. I thought New Rocky pitched pretty well, but the Leesburg Lightning certainly capitalized off of the 4 Winter Park errors. And, again, not the best box score for Winter Park. You know, no runs, just 3 hits, 4 errors. Not exactly a very welcome sign, especially for the Diamond Dogs who are trying to, you know, stay out of being in 6th place. But, I mean, yeah, not too many positives you can take away from that side. But for Leesburg, riding some momentum, see what they can bring to the park tomorrow.
So tomorrow, like TJ said, it's a rubber match. A winner takes this series, and both teams really need it right now. The Lightning improve to 16-11. They're in 2nd place with the Snappers, fighting for that home field advantage in the playoffs as we inch closer and closer. So tomorrow, game at Winter Park starting at 6 p.m. First pitch, 6 p.m. at Alphon Stadium. So for tonight, Ryan Jenkins adds the final touches, but it was Brian Berthoff's 5 innings of shutout baseball, and he was absolutely marvelous tonight on the mound. Final totals, no runs on 3 hits, 4 errors for the Diamond Dogs, and for the Lightning, 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Clean baseball for Coach Billings' squad. Once again, the final score, 8-0 for my partner, TJ French. I'm Vic Massley saying so long and good night.